Hello, hello. Hey, how you doing? Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Stock Markets with Bruce. It's Uncle Bruce here. Welcome to Monday morning. This is Monday, June the 14th, 2021. Welcome one, welcome all to this week's, the beginning of this week. Cheers to all of you around the world who are joining me and Jennifer here in Creston, BC. We love you. And we thank you for popping in to say hi. We're trying to cover the markets here in plain English. That's all I'm about. Trying to cover the stock markets in plain English. What is going on out there in the wild, wild world of investments? Couple of things going on. We're hoping for a lot of new developments this week. We know that tomorrow, I believe it is. Yes, tomorrow is the shareholder vote day for Fortress, FAII. So FAII tomorrow will have their shareholder meeting to formally approve being taken over by ATI Physical Therapy. We've been waiting for that, obviously, now for well over 90 days, I think over 120 days. So that's tomorrow officially. We believe this Thursday, the shares of VGAC will no longer exist and will be now known as 23andMe. ME will be the symbol for VGAC starting Thursday, I believe. We're looking forward to that. We have Gore's Holdings and a few other of our SPACs that we'd like to follow that are going to be calling their shareholder votes at any time. We're really just waiting for them to be told by the SEC that their latest filings are now final. You're good to go. You've made all the changes that the SEC has wanted done for every single SPAC out there, over 500 of them, and that your filings are okay. We've reviewed them, and you can now proceed on. This will allow these other SPACs we're following to call shareholder votes for their own individual transformations. And within the next 3-4 weeks, we start trading under new symbols on all of the SPACs we've been following. So we have a lot going on. In the meantime, we're watching GameStop. We're watching their stock trades every day. At the moment, in the pre-market, we have an hour to go until we open this morning. We're at 235.48 on GameStop, up $2. We're watching SoFi, keeping an eye on SoFi. That is one of those. This is one of those stocks that, in my humble opinion, I will talk to you about it, at whatever price it closed at the last little while, and then all of a sudden I will talk to you about, oh my gosh, it's up $3, or it's up another $2, or it's up another $4. There will come days where SoFi will start to take off, and in chunks, and I can see 5 and 10% gains per day, every once in a while. At the moment, 22.40 is where we're sitting at on this stock. And the merger is complete. So SoFi has taken over IPOE, the former SPAC. This is going to be 2 weeks tomorrow, I guess, or 3 weeks. I can't even remember. So much fun we're having. But the upside for SoFi, I think, is tremendous, absolutely tremendous. I cannot see these shares staying under $30 that much longer. Just my personal, humble opinion. It's not financial advice. It's just your buddy, Uncle Bruce, sharing his thoughts and his opinions that SoFi is going to go. And when it starts to go, there will be no stopping it, but it won't go from 22 to 30 in 1 day or 1 hour. That's not the way it's going to go. It's just going to mosey along and get into the 30 range and then go beyond that. There's no limit as to where this can go as far as I'm concerned. This can reach $100 a share, but not this week. But down the road, this will just keep climbing and climbing and climbing as the market becomes more aware. For the first time, a lot of stock market people do not know the extent to which SoFi is expanding out and how their reach is just exploding. Their number of customers that they have are just surging here. Online banking, fintech finance. This is going to be a monster. This company is going to be a monster. And I keep thinking that this stock will sooner or later become a meme stock. And that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing at all. As a matter of fact, I wanted to talk to you about that today. I wanted to talk to you about meme stocks, that term. This is not a bad term. It is quickly becoming a, how do I say this politely? It's becoming to the point where it started off back in January that these, Reddit stocks was the first term they gave. All these analysts gave certain stocks. They called them Reddit stocks. Then they called them Wall Street Bets stocks. Now it's evolved into meme stocks. I don't know what it'll evolve into next, but to me, this is becoming the new normal. Those of you who've been watching me since January, and those of you who've been watching this channel since I started it a year ago, only a year ago, I did videos a year ago talking about this, how this has transformed and will transform the stock market forever. A year ago, it began to become normal. It started to become normal for people to consider buying and selling stock with this. Prior to a year ago, it had been kind of, I'm hearing about it, but I'm not so sure about it. And then YouTubers started posting themselves trading on these phones to the world, to just show them how easy they could buy $1 of Amazon. They could buy $5 of Apple stock. They could, just a fraction of a share. It was all kind of a novelty thing at the beginning. The brokerage firms started coming out with fractional share purchasing opportunities, and they were aggressively advertising that open up an account with $50 and you can buy $5 worth of stock, and then Robinhood was $1 worth of stock you could buy. That was the first novelty to get it going. What the pros in New York and the professional, let's say, established media guys, a lot of them did not believe it, that this could be a game changer. They thought this was a novelty because when this began, we were talking about the shutdown across everything. All sports shut down. There was no place to bet on sports at this point, and everything just got closeted in. Everyone had to stay home, and everything shut down. And all of a sudden, the media thought, wow, these sports bettors that used to just spend $50 on a hockey game or a basketball game, well, they're now betting $50 on a stock. That's all it is. And there became this barstool mentality of trading the markets again as a whim, as a flyer, as a kind of it's cute and all, it's kind of funny. KB, hey, thanks for becoming a member today. Love it. Welcome aboard the train. And so the entire world began to recognize this whole thing as it's a fluky thing. Then we found the GameStop story and the short sell story of everyone else, and AMC and BlackBerry and Bed Bath and Beyond, and it became it became an interesting phenomenon in that again the establishment in Wall Street did not believe that there was any power behind this. It was just a bunch of people with nothing else to do, picking up some stock and just trading on their phones. What they didn't put together was the fact that there weren't just 3 or 4 million new investors coming to town, coming to play the market. There weren't 3 or 4 million. There were 300 or 400 million coming into town around the globe. Because at first, the media in New York and the financial media in the USA mainly was only looking at North American statistics, and they were only looking at Robinhood adding so many accounts a week, so many accounts a month. And then they noticed Schwab and Fidelity and TD Ameritrade and all, they kind of, well, everyone's getting into it, so they're all going after these little fish. What they didn't realize was this was happening globally at light speed. And here we are a year later, and there are more than 300 million of you who trade using this. And you can take this wherever you go. You can go to the bathroom with this and trade. And there are people in the bathroom buying and selling stuff on this one. They won't admit it. Well, they grudgingly admit it, but they won't brag about it. But 24/7, wherever you are, This is happening. And now the world is opening up again. And the pundits out there are speculating, oh, is this over? Is this over? Because people have to go back to work now. You got to go back to the office, man. And that brings me to the second part of my conversation. And that is that this is not over. This is now taking over. This is the new normal. This isn't a phenomenon. It isn't an anomaly. It isn't a fad. This is the new normal. And many of you who talk to me one-on-one, it's becoming quite apparent to this old man that, oh my, is this dominating the world? Oh yeah, is it ever dominating the world? Can you imagine going back to flip phone? You can't, none of you can, especially you traders. There's no way you can imagine that. You have to have a handheld computer in your hand. You have to have the power of 5G, 4G, 5G, and a fast computer, a fast processor in this machine to do what it is you want to do, because you are now entrusting your entire brokerage account to the speed of this machine right here. And the phone companies and the Apples of the world and the Samsungs of the world, they're delivering for you. And so this is the new normal. And so the meme stock terminology and the meme stock handle that stocks were getting, which used to be a negative, is actually now a positive, because what it means is that any stock that becomes a meme stock is a followed stock by hundreds of millions of potential investors. That's what that means. And that means that any investor relations department of every public company out there is dying to become known as a meme stock company. They're dying for it. And the classic example has to be, and again, I tip my hat to the president of AMC, the CEO of AMC. This guy has embraced the meme designation. He's adopted it. He admits it. He wants to be known. AMC wants to be known as a meme stock followed company. Why? They have 3.5 million shareholders. Who are these guys? Who are these people? Where have 3.5 million people come from to become shareholders of AMC within the last 6 months? The internet, the meme stock designation. Out of the hundreds of millions that are out there, 3.5 million have bought stock and have become shareholders of AMC. And that company has raised $1.25 billion in fresh cash in the last 30, 60 days because of it. And they're going to raise more. They're going to raise more, and they should. And God bless them for it, because it's going to strengthen their balance sheet. It's going to strengthen that corporation, and it's going to allow them to tackle that debt load of theirs. More power to you guys. GameStop is a meme stock as well. Has been since last December, January, but it's incredible the staying power of GameStop shares. GameStop shares are not backing off or going away or fading away. The experts have time and again predicted the demise of GameStop, and time and again they have been proven wrong, because what they don't want to admit, or they can't seem to register in their heads, is that of the 300 million people around the world that now know who GameStop is, they all know who GameStop is. 2 years ago, 500,000 people knew who GameStop was as an investment. Millions knew GameStop as the company, the store. Yeah, who didn't? Gamers all knew GameStop, but investors, almost nobody knew, and no one cared. Today, over 300 million people know all about the company called GameStop that is listed on the exchange, and many of them are following the saga of GameStop with regards to Mr. Cohen, his new team, and the changes, and how these shares are performing compared to what traditionally would have happened in the past. Traditionally, the old days, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, stock like GameStop would have had a run in January, would have gone right back down there, and would be now, no one would be talking about it. It would be one of those, yeah, it was a flyer. It's not happening with meme stocks. Doesn't happen at all. And this is the new normal. And the other thing that's happening here that I want to tie into is this portability right here. And the virus, the COVID virus, coupled with this, has changed our world forever. And I keep mentioning it and mentioning it and mentioning it, and I keep getting it mentioned right back to me from my viewers. Those of you out there who are telling me, yeah, you're right, Bruce. My world is forever changed. I up until 5 years ago, my mentality, even up to a year ago, my mentality was, I got to work my way up in the office. I got to impress my supervisor. I've got to show my coworkers that I'm a quote a team player, and I have to sacrifice my time to deliver to the company, to grow the company, and to show them that I'm worthy of keeping my job and being considered for promotions. And time again, you have noticed, many of you who are now in your 30s and 40s, you have noticed time and time again that not everyone gets promoted equally, that some people get promoted ahead of you or ahead of others that have no right, and there's no reason for them to be promoted higher, faster. And there are people in your organizations around the world. I'm talking globally, not just talking USA. I'm talking everywhere. You know people personally who have delivered the goods, unfailingly delivered the goods, and have been passed over and passed over. And there are a million reasons for it. We all know this. I don't have to go into this. And the virus changed everything, because all of a sudden, you can't play politics in the office anymore. All of a sudden, everyone had to work from home. Everyone had to work from their cubicle apart from everybody else. And this is where managers, upper managers, and other managers all the way down are noticing certain all-star employees that they've never heard of before. There are people out there who are becoming rather well-known, liked within the organization because of how consistent they deliver the product, the goods, from home. Whereas before, when they were in the office, they were just one of gazillions in these pods all over the place, and they were just ignored, they were just passed over, or they were just not known of. But now, with everyone having to be on their own and deliver the goods themselves, we're beginning to notice that certain people are underperforming that used to be considered all-stars, and others are overperforming that were just also-rans. And what has begun to happen, bit by bit by bit, as each month goes by, more and more of you have figured out that, you know what, I'm worth a lot more money than I'm being paid for here. And I'm worth a lot more respect than I'm getting, because I was just being abused at that. I was being ignored. I was just being passed over. I was just being taken for granted. All of a sudden, you're realizing, no, without me and my efforts, this department is in trouble. And I'm helping to carry this place. There might be 50 of us in this department, and there's 5 of us carrying the load, and I'm one of them. And I never get a promo, and I never get a decent raise. Like year after year after year after year. Time to change it up. Now, it has happened with some of you. You've gone job hunting. You have gone job hunting from home while you're still doing your gig to try to find a better gig somewhere else, because many of you know, and you've bought into the program, which exists, that in many of your situations, the only way to move ahead and the only way to get a decent raise and a promo is to leave the organization you're with and go to another one. Because the organization you're with is biased against you, or is so full of themselves they don't understand the talent they have. They don't recognize they're all-stars. And you talk to another outfit and tell them what it is you do at the present place you're at, and they go, oh my God, you're doing the job of 4 people. And they bring you in right away because they want you in their organization to help motivate their existing staff to lift up that entire ship. And you're finding that one way to move up in the world is jump ship and go to another company. Age-old thing, been done now for 15, 20 years. How many times have we heard it? Millions of times. Happened to us, maybe ourselves. But there's a new game in town. There's another new game in town, and it's called the working remotely game in town now. And the working remotely game is really upsetting it all. And there are firms out there who are beginning to pay the price of their ineptitude, their ignorance of their staff, their mistreatment of their employees, or their unwillingness to share the wealth with their employees, only sharing it in the top 10 percentile of the company, and the rest of you suffer because you're getting 2% raises, and that's the end of it. These companies are beginning to pay the price, and they're beginning to complain. They're beginning to complain because they're noticing they can't get their employees back. They won't come back, or there's a percentage that won't come back. And these firms are trying to find ways to get people to come back without having to pay for it. And they don't want to cough up the cash. And there are a lot of you out there who have children who have recognized that the world has changed and the relationship between you and your kids has forever been altered in a positive way because you're around. You're around a lot more now. Whether it's in the morning because you're not running out of the house to catch a train or a subway or a bus or get in a car and drive for an hour, or whether it's in the afternoons when you're picking them up from school, or you're at home when they come home from school, you're there. They know you're there. They know they can talk to you when they come home from their day. They don't have to wait 3 more hours before you get home exhausted from, again, your evening commute. This has changed everything. And a lot of you out there are going, yeah, this is it. I'm not going back to the old way. Thank you, SUXXXEL. Suxel, thank you for becoming a member. I love it. Welcome aboard. A lot of you have figured this out, that, you know what, my one-on-one relationship with my kids has completely been altered. Those of you who have very young children, you've got precious moments that you will treasure for the rest of your life that you realize now you would have lost had you had the old ways continued on. Those of you who have 12 to 15 to 17-year-olds, these critical years where they really need the guidance. You are recognizing, oh my gosh, this is huge. I'm beginning to know my children. They're getting to know me in a new light because, they're growing up right in front of your eyes. You're watching it and you're seeing it. A lot of you who've had this happen to you, you have gone job hunting to maintain the remote world, the remote work world. And some of you have decided to take it to another level, and that is you are teaming up with fellow employees that you've known for years and years and years. And in effect, you are cherry picking the best in your department, in your company that you've worked with for 15 years, 10 years, and you're forming your own corporations, your own alliances, your own team. And there are many examples where there's a writer, a web designer, and other people who team up together in an informal kind of an alliance to work from their separate locations, to work on projects together and go bid for jobs. And it's changed your lives. You've found that you can generate far more income being a self-employed consulting type person with all the skills you have, all the experience you have, especially those of you who are now 35 and older for sure, no question 35, maybe a little younger than that, but 35 and older, you are now at the top of your game in your career. And from 35 to 55, those are the 20 years where you can deliver the best of results. And rather than give it away for 50,000 a year, 70,000 a year, 40,000 a year, you're going on your own and you're working from home. You're working in your own environment. You're working with people you want to be with. You're working with clients you want to work for. And you're making way more. In some cases, it's 30% more. Other cases, it's double, triple, quadruple. You cannot believe the amount of money you can generate because many of you have figured out that as a corporation, rather than as an individual, if you have a, quote, company name that you are repping a company to a company rather than an individual to a company. And there's the big difference because companies looking to bring in talent for a special project, if they hire individuals on a contract basis, they grind them for the lowest price possible. But when it's a corporation that they're looking at, that's coming to them saying, well, my company can give you this result that you're looking for, that's a whole different ballgame because now you're not grinding individuals. This company now has to negotiate with this company at market rates. And the thing that you are finding out, a lot of you, is you're realizing as you do a little bit of reflection and you reflect back and you think about it, you go to yourself, you say to yourself, well, what would happen if I was at the office And I broke my hip on the weekend hiking somewhere, and I was out of commission for 3 months, and they had to hire somebody to replace me on a temporary basis through a temp agency. How much would the company be paying the temp agency to bring in a replacement for me for the next 3 or 6 months? And a lot of you are shocked when you realize, my God, temp agencies are charging 2.5 times what I get paid to replace me. And these companies are paying it. There are companies hiring receptionists that they try to pay a 30,000 a year to. They're paying 60,000 a year for receptionists, the equivalent of, because it's a temporary gig. Companies are paying through the nose for temporary employees. They don't want to hire new people. They don't want to put them in their employee plan. They don't want to put them in their health plan. They don't want to have to put them in the savings plan. They don't want to do any of that. They just want someone in there for now until the other guy or girl comes back, and then we're back to normal. And they will pay 2.5 times as much for the same position. And that goes all the way up into the middle senior management ranks. And this is where a lot of you are realizing, good Lord Almighty, they're paying me 60,000 a year to come in and do this. And if they replace me, they're paying 150,000 a year for the same person on a 3-month temporary contract, 6-month temporary contract. Why don't you become that person on a permanent basis? Might mean you're not working for one company anymore. Maybe you're a temp agency for yourself. Maybe you're becoming a temp work agency where you're just hiring an employee out that happens to be you, and the agency is sending you out to jobs that pay the equivalent of 2.5 times what you normally get. And you'll find it, oh, I have a 2-week gig here. I got a 4-week gig here. I got a 3-week gig here. And then I have nothing for a month. Well, you know what? That's okay. Because when I work now for 1 week, I make 3 weeks worth of money. So I put in 3 weeks of work at this gig over here. I just made 9 weeks of money. I can take a couple weeks off without work. That's all right. I have time to take some time and keep shopping for my next gig. In reality, for 52 weeks a year, you now have to work 17 weeks a year to make just as much money. And if you work 34 weeks a year, you're doing really well. And the rest of the time is yours for, again, holidays, family time, just being there, mental health, trip, whatever it is. This is the new normal. And you can thank this thing right here, the development of this. And part of it is the meme stock world that we have become part of. It is absolutely incredible what is happening. It's exciting as all get up, and there is no stopping it, and there's no going back. We're too far gone, and you're beginning to notice headlines. Every once in a while, you'll notice little stories here and there in various sections of either papers or online entities you're reading. Employers having trouble finding employees, and employees telling employers, "I'm not coming back. I'm not coming back. Fire me if you don't want. If I can't work from home, then let me go. Just buy me out, kick me out. I'm not coming back." And God bless you for it. I encourage you to take control of your lives and make it work for you, because reality is, you talk to people who've been in these firms for 5 years longer than you have, or 10 years longer, and you ask them, "Hey, how happy are you? How satisfied are you being here? Is it just a job to you? Were you ever promised something that never came through? Or have you noticed how you rose up the ranks, but then they made a management change and all of a sudden you're stuck where you are and there's no hope to get out because that new whoever is just is not recognizing the work that's being done anymore as top-notch work. They have been told by head office, grind everybody and keep those costs down, because you're not an asset to the company. You're a liability to the company. They've decided that all the work you do doesn't make them money, it costs them money. Well, when you're on that side of the ledger, it's game over. It's time to move on, because your upside has just been capped at wherever you are, and off you go. And it might just be time to take control of your life into another direction. It's a tough thing to do. It's a tough decision to make. It's a scary decision to make for some of you out there, really scary. But you know what? There are so many of you who are working 2 jobs because the one job that was supposed to take care of everything isn't doing it anymore, and you've had to take on a second gig. And after a few years, it's just normal to have two jobs. And it's not. It's not right. It's not the way it's supposed to be. With all the training you have and all the dedication you give, you ought to be looked after for what you're worth. And again, the bottom line is to replace you could theoretically be easy for some companies because there might be what they call a dime a dozen of you out there. But for many of you out there, you might have found, you know what? In this town, there's a dime a dozen to replace me. But if I am looking for work remotely, I don't have to look for companies in this town anymore for a job. I now can scour the world to offer my services. Where in the world are my services needed more than here? Without me having to move. This is the big equalizer that has come now to the fore. And I encourage you to take a look at it. I would not be surprised if it's happening now, but it will happen in the next 6 months, that a lot of placement firms that are out there, headhunters and employment agencies out there, they're going to be looking for staff and talent for companies that they rep, and they rep companies around the world. They don't rep companies in your hometown anymore, because even headhunters are figuring it out that I don't need to rep just the local companies, because if we have a local slowdown in this local economy, these local guys aren't hiring. No one's hiring around here. I can't find anybody working around here. Well, they're beginning to figure out I can find people jobs for companies that are 1,000 miles away from here, 500 miles in another state entirely, another country entirely. This is also opening up dramatically, and this is where you, the entrepreneurial individual, got to start thinking outside of your box about, my talents are underpaid here in this region. There's too many of me around here, but what I can deliver, the work I deliver, is worth a lot of money elsewhere. And yet I don't have to move there. I can still stay here with my mom and dad nearby, my grandmother, my relatives, or for whatever the reason you can't leave. There's reasons you can't move. Fair enough. You don't want to uproot your children from the schools they're in and all their friends. Get it, got it. You bet. So you find your employer online so that you can work from home for whomever it is you're working for. And this is a whole new bag, whole new deal that didn't exist not even a couple of years ago. It really didn't exist. It kind of for like 1% of the world, but now it's wide open. And it could well be that a third to half of all jobs going forward could well be pursued and done from a remote location. Now, some of you aren't going anywhere and you want to work remotely and stay that way. More power to you. Others of you out there, you don't want to stay home at all. No. You want out. You want out. And you want to go elsewhere. And some of you out there don't know yet where it is you want to be full time. But you certainly know one thing. You don't want to stay where you are. And this is where a lot of you are probably going to be in a position to become what we call nomads for a while. Traveling nomads. And it could be individuals, and it could be couples, and it could be families. I'm not kidding. It could be families. And it might be something as simple as homeschooling your kids and selling off the house, selling off all the possessions you've had, or the furniture that's 15 years old and is worth nothing, getting rid of the crap and putting some heirlooms into a storage for a while and picking up a great big RV. I'm not kidding. Picking up a giant fifth wheel and hitting the road for a year, taking the kids on the road for a year and having the high-end internet connection through your rig. And one or both of you, mom and dad, might be working part-time each remotely on the road from the RV. And you'll stay at one whole month. You'll stay at this area. One whole month, you're going to move another couple hundred miles. You're spending the area here, spending your time here. And the kids are homeschooling. Mom and dad are working part-time. And you're figuring this out. You're figuring out the new normal. It might be overwhelming for some of you to even contemplate it. A lot of you out there might just decide this is for me because it's just the wife and I. It's just the two of us. And we've always wanted to be RVers for a long stretch of time. Well, why don't you put together a 2-year plan and hit the road for 2 years and see how it goes. Others of you, you want to see the world. You want to see the planet. You didn't take that college trip after you graduated. You could have gone on that 2-month backpacking thing to Europe, but you didn't do it because you had a job offer and you jumped on it and away you went. Now, 8-10 years later, or 5 years later, you still haven't settled down with kids, and maybe you've had the relationship or two, it just didn't work out. You're single, still looking for that right individual, and it's time to hit the road. It's time to do the traveling, and you can travel and work at the same time, depending on the gig you got or the gig you get. Because don't forget, you can make the change. You don't have to accept the status quo. You can make the change. Find the new gig and dump the old guys off and go down the road of the new gig, and you can travel. And now all you need is your laptop, your phone, your big ass iPad, and you are in business wherever you go. And why don't you discover South America for a year and try 2 months in 6 different countries? They're there. They got internet. You may find that after a month in one country, you're going, it's pretty nice. I wouldn't mind living here all the time. On the other hand, you get to another country and you're there 3 weeks and you don't like it. This is not so much for me. You move to another location in the country, it works or it doesn't work. You can pack up and go anytime you want. Just keep on moving on, because you're a remote worker from wherever you are. And you'll start uncovering gems that you never knew existed. Maybe it's a European holiday for you this summer, this fall. Maybe it's Africa. Maybe it's Asia. Maybe it's a combination of everything. And become a member of an airline frequent flyer association, so that you fly certain airlines only around the world, piling up these points, and always trying to upgrade into a business class or premium economy class seat from time to time when you do make a flight. You set up your credit cards to get points, points, points. Every time you spend money on those cards, you're bracking up the points for additional free hotel stays or travel bonuses. You just got to do some homework to figure out which card program works best for you. And you're now a nomad. You're an on-the-road nomad. Your so-called mailing address might be your parents' house. It might be your best friend's home back in your hometown. You'll figure it out. You'll have a home address somewhere, but you're on the road, baby, and you're a nomad, and you're going to get used to it, and you're going to figure out pretty quickly how to handle it. And you may find that after 3 months, you ain't ever going back. You've just realized, oh my gosh, this is for me. When I'm homesick, you know what? I just grab a plane for home, and I visit for a week or so, and then I take off again. It's fine. Home is always a plane ride away. So what? This world has become so small that to return to where you've come from, to get a little bit of home cooking or some friends, easily done, and then off you go. And you come back after 6 months and you realize not much has changed around here, except the cost of living keeps going up. And I'm living cheaper than this, and I'm living better than this. And you decide, I think I'm going to go to Fiji, or I think I'm going to go to the South Pacific somewhere, or I'm going to head to Asia somewhere where it's warmer, because I don't want winter anymore. I mean, it all is up to you. You might become a ski bum in Switzerland and or a beach bum somewhere else. I mean, it's up to you. Wide open world. And God bless you for looking into it and checking it out. Welcome to the new normal, kids. Meme stocks. It's the new way, and it's not a dirty word. Don't be thinking that because you invest in stocks that they call meme stocks that you've got a problem. You don't have a problem. You're actually on the cutting edge of the future. The rest of the market is going to catch up to you. Every company is going to want to be known as a meme stock. I guarantee it. Every company would like to be known as a meme stock company. That's the quick transition that's happening right now. And some of these folks on Wall Street on these television networks and elsewhere, they keep thinking it's a dirty word, but they don't get it. They have yet to buy into it. They didn't buy into it when day trading started. They didn't buy into it when fractional shares trading started. They didn't buy into it when 300 and 400 million people started trading on this. They didn't buy into it. They didn't believe it they didn't call it, what's the word I'm looking for? They didn't call it legit. They didn't call it legit investing. They called it dumb money. They called it retail investing. They called it highly speculative, and they called it pump and dumps. What they are not admitting, and what they're slowly going to have to figure it out once they get enough blows to the head, is that with upwards of 500 million people eventually trading on this and not calling the broker anymore, the business has changed. And a lot of you out there have decided, You know what? That employment savings plan thing we've had that I put money into for the last 10, 12, 15, 18 years. I've been looking at the statements lately of what kind of returns I'm getting on my money. And I'm noticing I'm getting 3, 5% returns. Not so good. How am I going to retire on this? How's this supposed to happen? I'm putting in so much money a month. My employer used to double it. Now they don't even match it anymore. They're putting in half as much, or you have to be of a certain management level to get any of that money. They're not delivering. The heck with these guys. I'm grabbing this for myself. I'm going to take control of my own investment money. It's my money. I'm going to transfer it the hell out of there into my own, self managed Roth or IRA or whatever you have to do, and I'm going to trade it myself because heck, I care about the results of my return. These guys don't. These guys are managing hundreds of millions of dollars from thousands of employees, and they don't give a crap about me and my situation. And I'm supposed to be happy with 4 or 5% return on all that dough I've piled in there for 15 years? I don't think so. And so I'm going to look at how much of that I can take out and control myself. I'm going to take control of myself. A lot of you have stock options with your employers, you're with public companies, and you are earning stock. Eventually, it's your stock to do with as you wish. A lot of you don't realize you can take that stock and put it into, in some cases, depending where you live, you can put them into retirement accounts and get deductions from your source. In Canada in particular, those of you who are working for publicly traded companies, you can take stock that you hold in savings accounts and deposit those shares into an RRSP for a full-blown deduction. Up to 18.5% of your gross income can go in there every year to go right off the top of your income line, and you pay tax on only 72% of your money you make at a much lower tax rate. You can take assets you already have and just shift them. Just shift them, not sell them. Just move them over. And there's the credit with a big fat tax refund coming your way. That's a lot of money for a lot of you folks out there. There's some Canadians out there with $100,000 in RRSP deductions they can make. They have no idea how they can do that. They can make these shifts and knock half of your income off, especially on those back years, because there's no limit on with regard to prior years' contributions that you didn't make. They keep accumulating. In effect, there are some Canadians who earn $100,000 a year in income, and they have $100,000 in unmade RRSP deductions into contributions. You could literally borrow money against your house at 1.5% interest right now on a first mortgage or a second mortgage, and you can take that dough, put it into your RRSP, and right there, you borrow 100 grand to put it in there. You just took 100,000 off your income. You make zero money this year as far as the government's concerned. You get all your tax money back. And now you're making 100,000 a year in Canada. You're probably getting a refund of 35,000 bucks right there. The 100 grand is now inside your RSP. Put that into IBM. I mean, talk about boring. Put it into IBM and take 4.5% yield, or put it into Royal Bank of Canada or one of the other Canadian banks that are making hand over fist of money, and let them pay you a dividend on this cash. You're getting more in dividends than you're paying them in interest for the darn money in the first place. I mean, it's a done deal. And that $35,000 refund you just got, there's a whole bunch of dough towards that loan you just took. You can either just pay it down, or there's your next year's contribution right there going into the RSP for next year, and or for your spouse, and maximize your returns and build your retirement account. This is simple investing 101 strategies where you take existing assets you already have and turn them into much more higher producing assets for you. Because what do you hear about all the time lately? How many times have you heard about billionaires who don't pay taxes? How about the billionaires who get all these write-offs and pay virtually nothing in taxes? In many cases, they're just taking existing assets that they've got and they're reorganizing them in such a way so that they can negate taxes payable. A lot of you out there are actually in the same kind of position in your own size, not billions, obviously, we're talking about thousands. But a lot of you out there, if you could get your hands on $5,000 of the tax you're already sending to your government, you can get it back legitimately and legally every year by shifting existing assets around. Why aren't you doing that? It's free money. It's your money. Why are you giving it to these guys? Take control of your finances and get control back. Thank you, everybody, who join me here every day. I really appreciate it. Thank you for those of you who have the one-on-one sessions with me on weekends. Saturdays and Sundays, I have one-on-one private sessions. Thank you to all of you. we learn so much from each other when we do these. They're really incredible. I really enjoy them. It does mean I work 7 days a week, but boy, I'll tell you, my weekends are I look forward to them. They're a lot of fun. They're most interesting, and I learn so much about what is going on in the world that you guys are in today, especially those of you who are in your 30s and 40s and 50s. I'm 65. My world is different than you if you're 35. My world has to be different than yours. I mean, how can it be the same? A 35-year-old life today versus when I was 35 years old, it's a different world. No question about it. And I really appreciate it when some of you come to me, you hire me for an hour to talk to me, and you ask me about your careers, your investments, your futures, and then you tell me about the world you're involved with and ask me for my 2 bits worth of advice, because I'm not the guy who's going to be at your Thanksgiving dinner judging you as a relative. I'm the guy you can talk to off the record and say, hey, man, here's what I got. I don't know who to talk to about this, but what do you think about this with my job or my boss or my future or this or that? What's your take? Because you've got an angle that's outside of my world, and I want an outside opinion as to what's going on. I love doing it. I thank you all for that. All of you who are here today, welcome to the channel. Let's make some money this week. Let's have some fun. Let's try to understand what's happening in plain English in this crazy world of ours. I thank all of you for becoming members of this channel. Love it. The members can make comments here. If you're not a member, you can always send me a super chat with a comment if you like. I thank you all, and get ready for classes. We're going to be running classes not too long from now on how to be a better trader, how to be a smarter investor, how to trade options, how to write options, everything there is to do with the markets. We're going to be running private classes very shortly for very small groups of people on a live classroom setting, private broadcast, and then we're going to take those classes and we're going to edit those sessions into videos that we're going to upload onto a brand new website that we're just getting ready to launch. And any of you who would like to see these classes can order these videos at your leisure and watch them again and again. And as soon as I have the exact dates and times and subject matter, I will release that to members first. All members of this channel will get the heads up before anyone else. And then that will open up the reservation window for members first, where members can make their reservations for live classes. And then we'll go from there. So I'll keep you posted on all of those developments. I thank you all for all your kind words and encouragement. And those of you who help other viewers with questions that they have while I'm babbling on about whatever I'm babbling on about, I thank you too. And welcome one, welcome all. Kath, thank you for this donation. Hey, Bruce, I just wanted to say thanks for the encouraging words this morning. I feel like what you've been saying about workplace changes and the future of employment is what a lot of us need to hear. And I don't know where else you're going to hear it, because I can tell you right now, you're not going to get this kind of encouragement from your current employer. So they're not going to help you. You got to figure it out. Leon, to everyone annoyed that the squeeze hasn't happened yet, where avarice fails, patience gains rewards, a Diablo 1 shrine taught me that. Oh, okay. I'm not sure what it means, but I think it sounds good. And I like it. So thank you, everybody. Bill Coyne, Bruce, 50% of the U.S. population works from home now. Source, Wall Street Journal. And I think it's fantastic. I think it is incredible. And I think we've got a long way to go yet, a whole long way to go yet. There's a lot of you out there who really do not appreciate how much you're worth. You don't realize how much money you're actually worth. And I think some of you from time to time have had it happen where you leave a firm to go and take a job somewhere else, and then you find out through one of your buddies back at the office like a week or two or a month later, you hear through the grapevine that they replaced you with a new employee that gets paid 20% more than what they were paying you, because they couldn't find anyone in your pay range to do what you were doing. And the person they brought in was higher senior experience than everyone else around them. And it was only at that point that the firm realized what they have lost. But that's what it is with corporate America. They would rather sacrifice their employees and grind them into submission rather than, in some case, not every case, because there's some great employers out there. I'm not poo-pooing all employers, but so many employers have let talent go for no good reason. And it's cost them more in the end. They were grinding the employees down, and they didn't realize it, but what they ended up doing to themselves was they unmotivated their work staff. They crushed the will to give. They crushed the will to innovate, and the company started to suffer as a whole. And then the company couldn't afford to give raises because this wheel was going the wrong direction. It was a spinning wheel down the drain, and now the layoffs begin, and the morale sinks even more, and the company's going the complete opposite direction. Where companies who are on the successful side are the ones that have bonuses, and they celebrate employee achievement, and they reward employee initiative, and they make sure their employees are happy. They make sure that their employers are the best compensated. These are the firms that constantly keep expanding, and they're always hiring. They're constantly looking to hire, and they're hiring at top dollar because they know we invest in this investment called employees, we make more money. Because that's how it works. That's the real game. But it's amazing how many outfits out there just don't know. Anyway, there you go. Vincent wanted me to know Virgin Orbit is going public via SPAC. Just wanted you to put that on your radar. Vincent, thank you. We're always getting updates like this and appreciate it. We're going to keep watching what's going on. We got so much happening right now with what we're doing. It's unbelievable. We've got an interesting week coming up and an interesting month, and what a heck of a summer we have coming up, folks. It's going to be unbelievable. GameStop right now, 238.67, up $5.32. We are 9 minutes from the opening right now. The Dow is down 25 points at the moment on its pre-market activities. We got S&P up half a point, nothing going on there. NASDAQ up 22 points, and oil is at 71.55, up 64 cents a barrel at the moment. Here, AB is saying the biggest insult is if you work retail, you might get a 25 to 75 cent an hour raise a year. White collar professional, maybe a couple of grand. That's pathetic. And it's true. There's a reason there's incredible turnover in retail. No one thinks of a career in retail. I mean, in North America, a career in retail? Are you kidding me? No. Most people who enter retail who think of it as a future thing, they think of it as getting their own business up and running. Someday leaving this place and running my own. There's very few people who think of careers as retail. It's so true. Swinson, Terry, thank you for becoming a new member. Nice to have you here. All of you who are joining us, new members this morning, thank you so much for becoming part of the family here. We appreciate you. We love to get your thoughts, and all the gang will welcome you, as they always do. I appreciate this so much. Thank you, all of you, for coming through here, and it's fantastic. A random question, what is the icon that subscribers get? It's hard to see the small icon, the one that's orange, green, blue. Yes, those little icons are miniature bagels. Those are those are this little logo right here in the tiniest little format. And they change color for every month that you've been here for the first 3 months. And then after 6 months, they change color again. And so the colors kind of show off seniority, I guess is what it is. It's a sort of a seniority thing. And the more you become a part of it, the longer you become part of the group, the more your colors change. I think the first badge is an orange colored badge, and then in the second month it's green. The third month it's like a blue purple color, and after 6 months I think it turns pink, and then it'll go yellow after a year, and then it goes I think a fuchsia or something. I'm not exactly sure. Different colors depending on how long you've been part of the group here, and I thank all of you who are becoming members and maintaining your membership with this channel. It is truly humbling for Jennifer and I to know that high number of you, so many of you, have become members and are staying members of this channel. And we had to become a private channel back in, March or so, because we were finding there were too many trolls trying to drop really nasty comments in our comment section. So you know what, with the members now commenting, we get relative comments to what we're talking about, and some really smart comments and great ideas. Also, a lot of you are spreading heads up word to us. You're hearing something about one of the stocks we're following, and you're giving us a heads up to let us know, just heard this, just heard that. And that is one of the benefits of becoming a follower of this channel. It's what I wanted to have happen. It's now happening. So many of you are sharing your intelligence, your intel that you're coming across with the rest of us, and that's just making us all smarter. And this is why I beg from you all the time, please consider giving this show a thumbs up every time you come in here. When you come and visit this channel, please hit the thumbs up button. It encourages YouTube to bring new viewers to us that do not know we're here. There are so many millions of investors out there who are lost aimlessly trying to find information about stocks and investing and ideas and how not to make mistakes in the market. They need a place where they can be felt welcome and where they can learn how this market is working and what's really going on with the market in plain English. And you guys giving me thumbs ups is encouraging YouTube to show off this channel as a suggested channel to millions of other YouTubers who do not even know we're here. They don't know we exist. And you never know, there could well be one day where you guys are doing this, we get a member coming in here that might actually be connected somehow with some of these companies that we're talking about that have insider knowledge or have awareness or have the knack of telling us, I'm hearing this through the grapevine, or I'm hearing this through the grapevine about this company or this company, this company. They start to share this info with me and you, which means it just makes us that much more involved. And so the more we can get people following this channel, the better. So thumbs ups from you are the first wave of ways to encourage people to come in here and join us and follow us. So thank you, all of you who do this every day. I don't ever have to ask so many of you ever for a thumbs up. I never have to ask. You just give me one. I love you for that. It really is a difference maker. Every YouTuber, you'll notice, every one of us, we beg for thumbs ups from our viewers. Every video, every live show, we are asking for thumbs ups or we appreciate them. If you are watching YouTubers that don't thank you for being there, maybe you're watching the wrong guy. I'm just saying, if you're not being appreciated, I don't know. Sometimes it's true. There are YouTubers that take their viewers for granted, and I get it. So anyway, there it is. Thank you, everybody. Charles Lee, investing Bruce's recommendations for the past 3 months, I'm up 160%. My 401k has just got a 3% return. I get this all the time. I get the varying amounts all the time. It's absolutely unbelievable. I'll tell you, what can I say? There's so many of you who are doing so well compared to how you were doing before. I'm thrilled. I'm just so happy to hear this, and I'm relieved because so many of you have been banking and counting on your company saving plan and these pension retirement plans to be your source of retirement. And a lot of you are figuring out already, you're in your 40s, mid 40s and 50s, you're realizing there isn't enough there. Even if we compound 5% a year for the next 7 years, there won't be enough there for me to retire on. And you're beginning to figure out you got to do something. You've got to take control. And sometimes it's shifting companies for a bigger paycheck. Sometimes it's shifting investment strategies. And other times it's just taking over control of your own affairs and not paying these management fees to these administrators of these grotesque sized funds where they generate 6.5%, but you only get 3.5% because 3% in fees comes off the top to them. And that's half of your upside. That's not what it's about. It's about making it work for you. So yeah, you might want to really look into this. My rate of return from Bruce is double from my employment return right there. I got to tell you, it's almost too easy to outdo the employment works. The employers. It's almost too easy. Just going after. In many of your cases, if 10 years ago you would have cashed out your retirement plans at work and just put all the money into Apple, just Apple, and then just forgot about it, you'd be 10 times ahead already. And that's one. Another one is index ETFs, just following the index, investing in ETFs that just match the Dow Jones Industrial or the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. You outdo many of the employment retirement plans that are out there. There's so many ways to do this. Doug, thank you, Doug Fletcher, for becoming a member of this channel. Buddy, thank you. Nice to have you here and joining the rest of us. I appreciate it very much. Yeah, I mean, I'm not talking about radical, oh, you got to take long shot bets to make more money. No, I'm talking about simple, targeted, practical investment decisions that you can make on your own, that you don't need a professional advisor for. A little bit of guidance from my end, great. And you're on your way. You'll double the returns or triple the returns, and you can make something of it. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Now, those of you who are following me in my Spacs that I recommend to you, and the other stocks I talk about all the time, and those of you who are now following me on the options trades and thinking about writing call options, which is a huge, huge thing to think about. I welcome you with open arms, and I encourage you to keep following us. And the classes I'm going to be offering, we're going to go into a number of different classes about writing options. This isn't a one class and done thing. This is going to take several, but boy, is the upside phenomenal or what. It is fantastic, and you can really do well. So anyway, I'll look forward to that as we go forward. Let's talk about the opening. We're open now. I think we're just starting to trade here. So welcome to another day, another week of market action. Let's see where we're headed here. I noticed that the GameStop has started at 235.38 with a 317,000 opening salvo to get the day going. We'll see how that works its way through. We've got a lot of things going on here. With the markets, we are going to watch everything else today. SoFi right now, I'm showing at 22.30 a share, up on 121,000. Now it's 22.40, up a penny. I've got GameStop now 235.77, up 243. I have Fortress up 3 cents to 10.16. We're showing AMC over the $50 line. It couldn't break $50 Friday night, and it had no trouble breaking 50 in the aftermarket and the pre-market. Right now, AMC 53.18, up 378. The higher AMC goes, the higher a lot of other meme stocks can go. It's just that there's just that positive vibe coming off AMC that just infects the rest of the market. So there you have it. It's on a bit of a roll. Gores Holdings 15.97, up 3 cents. VGAC is at 11.38, up 40 cents. It's moving. Fifth Wall 11.55, up a nickel. A Vector Acquisition up 7 cents to 10.54. Navsite is sitting at $10, and Starboard is at 10.05. What I'm noticing on my Spacs that I keep recommending to you, these Spacs, little by little by little, as each week goes by, I'm not talking to you anymore about these Spacs sitting at $9.90 a share, $9.95 a share. I'm not talking. It's not happening anymore. They've all kind of bumped up, haven't they? And they're all kind of some are moving a little bit here. Get ready for more, much more. It's going to be a very active summer for us. And these Spacs that I'm talking about, I am convinced they're going to do really well, really well. They are going to be well funded, incredibly well funded with these pipe financings on top of the Spacs that they're doing. Fantastic financial position right on listing as soon as they change their names over. So get ready, guys. We're going to make some money here. SoFi, 22.44, now up 4 cents. Volume on SoFi, 144,000. Nothing to get excited about. Over on, let me take a look here. On GameStop, 233.93, now on 430,000. The first trades are going through. Fortress now at 10.21. AMC at 53.33. Gores at 15.96. VGAC 11.43 now. Volume so far 216,000. That is 23andMe, kids. That company really is 23andMe. We just still call it VGAC until Thursday morning. So 11.46 on VGAC. Get ready. We're starting the move. I'm not saying straight up, but I'm not saying it ain't going to go straight up. It is beginning to show life, and I bet you a bunch of you are noticing that your contracts and your account balances are starting to look better and better every day with your VGAC moving up here. This is a lot more fun than sitting at $9.90 to $10 a share. I have to got to surmise with you. There's a whole bunch of you, I'm sure, kind of grinning from ear to ear with your VGAC right now. It is moving, and it's going to keep going, and the hope I have for you is that you picked up these long-term contracts on VGAC, and now ride the wave up to 20-25 bucks. We're going to go for a run here, I hope. Anyway, nice to see VACQ at 1055. I don't have any news on it yet that I'm aware of. I am awaiting the shareholder vote day to be announced. Same with NavSite. We're waiting for that, and Starboard Value. We're just waiting for them to release their shareholder vote days, and then away we go. SoFi 2240 to 2250 now seems to be the trading range. We were under pressure on Friday. You may have noticed how the stock couldn't get through 2250. It was just kind of sitting under there. I'm kind of wondering if that is about to end. It'll be interesting to watch SoFi all day long, whether it'll break through 2250 and then break out, because that's what I'm expecting at any time. The Dow is down 82 points right now to start the morning. Now it's down 76. S&P down 6 points, and NASDAQ is up 2. That's what we have so far on the markets, the big markets at this moment. GameStop now, the low of the day, 231. The high of the day, 238. Trading up 231.82, right near the low of the day. Down only $1.50 on the day. 231.11, down 222 a share at the moment. Those shares are 206 Friday afternoon. That's how low they got, 206. And then they bounced back during the day, and in the aftermarket, they bounced up as well. Now we're back to the 230 range. What will GameStop do next? Will GameStop actually come out with a dividend? The speculation now on GameStop is that there could be the possibility that the company might issue a special dividend that would consist of GameStop coins. And this to me is a I love this story. I love this story. They keep getting more interesting all the time. But boy, if they came up with an arrangement where they were saying to all shareholders, for every share of GameStop you have, you get 10 GameStop coins. And the coins can be used on the GameStop website. And I'm also wondering if the coins might actually trade in their own universe, and could be tied to one of the existing coins out there. This could be most interesting. Anyway, the reason I like this idea is that if the company were to issue coins to the shareholders as a dividend, and the coins are unique to GameStop only, and that there's nowhere you can buy the coins to deliver them as a dividend. If you're short the stock, you've got a problem. If you're short GameStop, and now GameStop is issuing $10 of GameStop coins to their shareholders, you as a shorter are obligated to come up with these coins as well, because you're short the stock, you owe the dividend. And your brokerage firm is going to say to you, hey, listen, you're short 10,000 shares at GameStop. You got to come up with $100,000 worth of GameStop coins, so that we can hand those out to the folks who own this stock that you shorted. The problem is there's nowhere to get them. And I'm wondering if there's going to be a market created where these guys have to go to a market to buy these coins. Well, the coins will go up in value. They'll start at $1 a coin. Like it might be 10 coins, $10 worth. They might start at $1 value, but the coins now will go up in value because these shorters are going to have to buy these coins to get the coins to deliver the dividend, or they buy back their stock and get out from underneath their short position so they don't have to owe these coins. Because if you're short 10,000 shares, you're on the hook for $100,000 dividend. That if you can get the coin at $1, what if you have to pay $3 to buy the coins? Your dividend now is $300,000. You got to come up with $300,000 to deliver a dividend on a stock you're short. This is not good news for shorters. So I can see shorters panicking and having to buy GameStop shares to get out from underneath this dividend. And of course, the company will give a 30-day notice, or roughly, might be even 60-day notice, that 30 days from now or 45 days from now will be the record date. That day is the day that if you're a shareholder of the company, you get these dividends, you get these coins. Anyone who short stock that day is on the hook for the dividends. And I wonder how many of those shorters in the first 30 days of this notice are going to run out in the open market to try to get out from underneath their short position and go long the stock, get that stock back and not be short the stock. I can't see the shares being anywhere around here if that's the case. A $10 a share special dividend in coin, that alone could move the market $100 a share. That's my humble opinion. But the short squeeze on top of it all could really put a run on this thing. And what I would dearly love to see, two things for you guys as shareholders of the company. One, you get the dividend. You get the 10 coins, but the 10 coins you get are theoretically worth $10, but they're trading on the open market for $30 or $40. And you can just sell the coins on the open market for the gain if you want. Thank you very much. It's not a $10 dividend. It's a $30 a share dividend, a $40 a share dividend. Hence why the stock would go to $400 a share, $500 a share, because if you're getting a dividend that is now being equated as a $40 dividend because the coins are trading at $40 a share, $4 a piece, you've got a 10% yielding stock here in your hand on this one-time special dividend. So of course the shares won't be 226, 230. Oh no, they'll be 400. But with the short squeeze on top of everything else, they could go to 500 a share. And at 500 a share, I would like to see the company now come out with a second announcement. We're going to do a 10-for-1 stock split. And so for every share you now have 10 shares a month from now. And the shares will start trading at $50 a share a month out. But by the time that month rolls by, the shares will have reached 1,000 a share and will roll back into 100 a share. And now you've got a $1,000 stock in your hands, which is quadruple the existing price, approximately. Thank you very much, Mr. Cohen, for coming on board. And I would like to see the company issue 5 million shares, another 5 million shares, another 5 million. Yeah, raise billions in cash to allow for acquisitions and mergers, do the special dividend, do the 10-for-1 split, and the shorters will run for their lives like there's no tomorrow. And I tell you, it would be really interesting if all of this were to happen. Anyway, the rumors are starting to fly. There could well be the possibility of a special coin dividend for GameStop shareholders. And I'm just bringing it to you as I am hearing it. It's unbelievable. Big Mike is saying, hey, Bruce, thank you for the donation, Big Mike. Get this. I saw SoFi bought an ad on YouTube video the other day. It was a 2-minute ad inside of a video. Big things are coming. There you go. This SoFi company is a marketing machine. These guys are running a real marketing machine. And I'm thinking, yeah, they're going to be, no one is not going to know who they are. I mean, they are going to be a household name by the end of the year. They're hosting the Super Bowl in their own stadium in LA this year. $1 billion of advertising coming their way for that. Just watching 1980. Thank you for the donation. GameStop dividend coin is a good idea, but talk about the SEC implications. I don't think they'd allow it. I don't know about that. I'm just thinking, hey, if it's an entity that is available for dividending, and it's a liquid entity, I don't know why they wouldn't. They haven't stopped anything else. They certainly aren't stopping shenanigans by the hedge funds or anybody else against any stock out there, period. I don't know why they get in the middle of this. I really don't know. I really wonder about that. I wonder if maybe the company can get around it by issuing a special warrant. They'll issue a warrant as a dividend to all shareholders, which is convertible at the shareholder's choice into 10 coins of GameStop coins. That might be how they do it. So the warrants can trade on the open market as their own warrant. It can trade, and if the coin goes up in value, the warrant goes up in value. And you have, say, a 6-month time frame to convert your warrant into the coins at your leisure. That might be the way it is. And it might be that they pull off another deal. They say, we're giving everybody a warrant for a share, and the warrant is good for a $10 coin, but you got to give us $1. Just give us $1. So give us back the warrant plus $1, and you get these GameStop coins. And these GameStop coins have a value of $10 par value, but on the open market, they start to trade at $40, $50 in value, these coins. All of a sudden, the warrant's worth $50. And that's a dividend given to every shareholder of the company. I don't see a problem with it. I really don't. I really wonder if this could be the way to go. This would absolutely screw up the shorters. I mean, would muck it up like you cannot believe for these guys. They have to now deliver warrants that they You can't just print, although they can print them. They now have to honor them. They can't honor them because they don't have the coins. They have to buy the coins on the open market, making the shareholders richer, moving the market at the same time, getting out from underneath the obligation. Oh my gosh, that would be just so much fun to watch. Oh, the scramble would be something. Yeah, this could be it. Anyway, we'll see what happens, guys. I'm just speculating with you. I'm just a guy in a living room in Creston, British Columbia, asking to watch the show. Hope you enjoy the plain English approach to this market, and give me your thoughts. What do you think? Can something like this happen? Stock right now is $2.25 a share, down $8. Are you worried? I'm not worried. Do I worry that GameStop is down $8 a share right now? Nope. I just see so much unlimited upside to this thing. There is no top to this stock. None. There is no top to this stock. The bottom, I don't know if we're here. Maybe she'll fluctuate another $10, $20. It can do that. You know it. You know it. I know it. GameStop fluctuates all the time. But where this stock is capable of going, oh my gosh. We have only just begun. We haven't even got the CEO on board yet. He's coming. He's joining, next week? Next Monday he starts? The CEO starts next Monday. The CFO starts shortly after that. Changes are a-coming, kids, and announcements will be coming out. Future plans will be divulged, and oh my gosh, this GameStop is not going to be the old GameStop you know from your youth. The one you knew 2 years ago, that store's gone too. That GameStop is gone. The GameStop that had 70 million shares shorted against it when only 70 million existed, that company is gone. This is a whole new deal, a whole new world, and I'm waiting for. I'm predicting. My personal prediction is there might well be 1 million shareholders right now. 1 million people own stock in GameStop from a fraction of a share all the way up. I wonder what happens when 3 million people own GameStop stock. 3 million of them. And see a 10-for-1 split. People who have half a share now have 5 shares. Those who have 5 shares have 50. Those who have 10 now have 100 shares. Oh, is that going to change everything? That's going to change. The volume is just going to go up, of course, tenfold, and I just see the stock doubling again. I just do. Wow, there's going to be money made here. Absolutely. We'll see what happens. Lots of fun. Any word on FAII? The stock is 10.23 up a dime, and their shareholder meetings tomorrow. So yeah, the news is tomorrow they will be taken over by ATI Physiotherapy, and we start trading probably next week as ATI. Hey, Bruce, have you heard about Next Gen Acquisition 2? Spac involving Richard Branson? I have not. I've heard rumors of others, but I've not looked into it. Right now, my attention is on VGAC. It's all on that one because we have spent months and months and months picking these up, getting position on this stock, ready for liftoff, and we're up 30 cents a share right now on VGAC. We've traded 545,000 shares already, where this stock used to only do 100,000 a day. It's already at 500,000 shares, and it hasn't even started yet. It's already been to 11.69 this morning. It's going to go higher. It'll go through 12 and 13 like butter in no time. And from there, there's no limit to this thing. That's what it's all about right now. And Richard Branson is the only thing I'm watching. Bill Coyne, Wall Street is still operating on the old style system while the real world has moved on. Bill, you're absolutely right. You got it. You've nailed it. You know it. Those of you who are watching me here, I keep bringing it back to you. This is the new normal. We don't go back. We don't go back to the 90s or the 2000s. We don't go back to the dot-com bubble. We don't go back to 2008. We're now the new normal going forward from here. The new normal is hundreds of millions of investors who are taking control of their own investments, and they are walking away from their mutual fund land overlords. They're walking away from their employer savings plan group overlords. They're taking control of their own funds, and they're going to manage their own funds on this, at least this, wherever they are 24/7 around the world. And this is the new thing. There will be over 1 billion users of these for the stock market this next year, and there'll be over 2 billion the year after that. This is exploding. And the meme stock thing is where you want to be. You want your company followed as a meme stock, because that means you're followed by hundreds of millions of investors. There are public companies out there who don't get it. They think they're doing great. They got 200,000 shareholders. They think they're fantastic. Oh yeah, we got 200,000 shareholders. We're the real deal. Within a year from now, you're nothing. If you haven't got at least 1 million shareholders, you got nothing going on. You've got to be known by hundreds of millions of people to have a shot at upward movement. Yeah, you can earn your way to respect. I get it. Sure. Yeah. I mean, there's only one Procter and Gamble, there's a Kraft Foods, and there's Campbell Soup, and there's Johnson and Johnson, and yeah, sure. Yeah. Let's take the S&P 500. Yeah, sure. Great. But there are tens of thousands of other companies out there who need to be known by investors. And the way to become known by investors, to really make an impact on your company and your future, is to be a meme stock. You've got to be followed by the meme followers. And a couple of billion followers on the phone over the next 2 years tells me this whole world has changed. Right now, GameStop, as I keep talking about, is a known company in the meme world. Yeah, sure. 200 million people know about GameStop. Maybe 300 know about it. But in the next 2 years, 2 billion people are going to know about GameStop from an investment side of things. And do not dismiss the fact that there might be 50 million investors in Indonesia, India, Pakistan, Thailand, Egypt, around the world. I'm talking about countries that are not in the G20, the kind of countries where millions upon millions, tens of millions of people are going to invest $1, $5, $10 a month into the market by the hordes, army ants of them. And they're going to buy stocks they know. They're going to buy stocks that they're hearing about, the stocks that they're following, the stocks that are meme stocks that are encouraging more meme players to follow them. And this could be where AMC and GameStop and others could have 5 million shareholders a year from now. I mean, AMC is at 3.5 million shareholders now. They could have 10 million shareholders that own AMC stock in the next year to 2 years. 10 million shareholders. There are Dow 30 companies that don't have 1 million shareholders, that don't have 500,000 shareholders. This is the difference. This is the massive difference. You get 300 million people wanting to buy 1 share each of a meme stock a year from now. Where's that stock coming from? Where on God's green earth can you get 300 million shares of GameStop in a week? Where are you getting that from? There are no 300 million shares of GameStop available in a week. The only way you're going to get it is to bid for it from the open market. And you're going to have these investors coming in. And think about this. You got somebody who wants 10 shares of GameStop because they like the company, and they think it could go to $1,000 a share in the next year. They want 10 shares. All right. Right now it's $226 for 10 shares. Do they care that they have to pay $227 to get 10 shares or $228 to get you? They don't care. They don't care. They'll bid a buck more, $2 more. You talk about an investor that wants 1 share of this stock, 1 share, but you got millions of them. They'll pay $5 more a share if it starts moving this afternoon. If it's at $245 this afternoon, they'll buy 1 share for $245. It's going to 1,000. What do they care? It goes to 280. It goes to 300. It's going to 1,000. 360 a share? $360 for 1 share? I'll buy it. It's going to 1,000. They don't care. These folks are not putting the kind of money on the table that we have been brainwashed into believing by Wall Street for the last 25, 40, 50 years that, oh, people are going to hurt themselves. They're going to put their futures on the line. They're going to lose everything. This is over. You don't have to buy 100 shares of stock anymore as a board lot purchase like you used to when I was a broker. Because when I was a broker, if you didn't come to me with at least a 100 share order, I wouldn't even talk to you. I would say to you, don't bother coming here and buying 20 shares of General Motors. Don't come in here for that. Don't talk to me about buying Apple stock at $22 a share in 1987 to buy 20 shares at $25 a share. No, don't bother talking. You want to buy Apple, you buy 100 shares, or don't come in this office because I'm going to charge you a $50 minimum commission to buy your stock. You don't want to pay that kind of commission. Today, you can buy 1/10 of a GameStop share for $22.54. Is that going to bankrupt you if you lose it all? All? How are you going to lose it all? Really? I don't think so. Are you risking half your money? Maybe. So you're risking $11.25 on GameStop, a tenth of a share. How many millions are going to come in here in the next year? I'm telling you, we're going to have 2 billion people in this market in the next 2 years on their phones globally. Forget about the American investor. All of America combined will be a minority of all the investors of the world, dollar-wise. I'm talking dollar. We're talking trillions of fresh dollars coming into this market from the outside. And what you have right now, you can sell all you want and you can't stop this market. That's what's coming. That is what I predict is happening. And these so-called experts on the television over here, just passing them by, missing the boat. There's wind. They feel wind in their, I feel wind in some of my hair. They feel wind going by, but they don't realize what that wind is. It's the world passing them by, and they've missed the boat, and they don't get it. And this is where you guys are about to see an unbelievable transformation continue on in this market. It's already happened. It's on. Why is AMC at $52 a share? Why? It's not there because the movie theaters are full. It's not there because they had an opening weekend this weekend of a $400 million opening. There wasn't one this weekend. That's not the reason AMC is at $52.20 a share. There's another reason why AMC is at $52 a share. Way more buyers than sellers, and they keep coming, and they're going to keep on coming because they're buying into the notion of the power they have. We're talking about early days of this phenomena, and the top 10 stocks that are the top 10 meme stocks are the first top 10 to go. They're the first ones to go. And GameStop is right in there. It's right in there. And I don't know how much more simply I can explain it. In plain English, I'm doing the best I can, kids. Anyway, there you have it. Oh, we're going to have fun. I'm really looking forward to it. Where are we at right now on our stocks? We got the Dow down 113. I couldn't care less. It means nothing this morning. It's 1/3 of a percentage point. No big deal. S&P is down 5 points. NASDAQ is up 34 points. Over here where the action is, SoFi, 22.12, down 28 cents. It's on sale for a limited time, under $30. Under $30, you are stealing this money. You are stealing money. There are about $8 a share waiting for you on SoFi. You either buy the stock or buy some contracts, but there's at least $8 a share immediately available for you. Immediately. Beyond that, sky's the limit. GameStop, 226.78, down 650. FAII Fortress at 10.18, up 6 cents. AMC, 52.16, up 276. Gores, 15.80, down 14 cents. VGAC at 11.25, up 27 cents. Fifth Wall Acquisition, 11.70, up 20 cents again. Vector at 10.46, down a penny. Navsite, $10, unchanged. And SVAC, 10.07, up 2 cents a share. That's where the SPACs are. Other stocks that I like, Vector Acquisition, the chip ETF, 251.45. A year from now, you're going to be asking yourself, why did I not buy this stuff? You could buy contracts on this stuff. You can buy call contracts on VANIC. Pick up 255s for next January or March or something like that. If you can get them cheap enough, load up. I think you're going to be very happy. Microvision is a 2025 down $1.35. Nothing going on there. Home Depot down 371 to 307. Absolute winner of winners. IBM down $1.61 on sale for $149.67. There's a winner. Microsoft down 23 cents. That is a buy. Apple up $1.81 today to $129.16. Winner, chicken dinner going forward. Tesla up $11 to $6.21 a share. Nice to see it bounce a little bit. Bed Bath & Beyond down 68 cents to $31.23. This stock reached a high of $53.90 in the last little while. Unbelievable. It's come back a long ways. It's a meme stock. Meme stock. BlackBerry up a penny at $14.18. Sure looks a lot better than $8-9 a share, doesn't it? Otherwise, elsewhere, the cruise lines are under some pressure. Royal Caribbean down 93 cents to 89.16. Norwegian down 50 cents to 31.73. Carnival 29.52 down 41. I've been telling you to buy puts on Royal Caribbean. It was at 93, 94 a share. Been telling you to buy puts at least out to next year. You can make a lot of money on puts. Royal Caribbean, in my opinion, is headed to 40, 45 a share, maybe 50. That's where it's headed to, because they have taken on so much debt and issued so much stock that now that they're starting to get their cruise ships back in the water, they're still spending tons of money to get their ships staffed up and get people on them. But it's going to take a full year before the cruise lines are back to full capacity for all their ships, and then we'll find out what the capacity allowables are. They will not be making money for at least another year. They will not turn the corner for another year. So more bleeding will happen, and these shares are going to pay the price for it. That's just, again, my humble opinion. I love cruising. I can't wait to go. I want to go badly, but the shares are way too high for their fundamentals. Amazon up $29 a share. Facebook up $1.84. Google down 14 cents. Nothing much happening over there. Back here on the Intel situation, down 45 cents to 57.40, and Micron is at 79.92, up 50 odd cents a share. So we're following right now, keeping an eye on this market. What is going to happen and when? Tomorrow, again, Fortress has their shareholder meeting to be formally acquired by ATI Physical Therapy Centers, and therefore concluding their merger with the Spac money and this pipe money, and it's $650 million or something like that. It's a ton of cash going into the physical therapy company to grow it out. They're going from 860 locations to 910 locations as I speak. That should be completed this year, and then I think they're going to start gobbling up competitors. They're going to become a huge operator, and they're going to make just a ton of money. 1022 on the stock, up 9 cents on Fortress right now. AMC holding at 52.59, up 3.19 a share. GameStop at 225.58. The low of the day on GameStop has been 223 so far today. That's about 20 minutes ago. Gore's Holdings at 15.68, down 26 cents. Matterport, winner, chicken dinner. I cannot wait for the day. I'm just hoping it's any minute now. I don't know if it is any minute now, but I'm praying it's any minute now that Gore's will say, they accepted our filing, and we're calling our shareholder vote. And then I can put the countdown calendar on for the Gore Matterport merger, and away we go. VGAC 11.25, up 27 cents. That's where we are right now. SoFi 22.12, down 27 cents right now is what we have going on. Welcome one, welcome all. It's nice to see you here, and I appreciate so much that you're with me today. And let's see what we can do. Let's make some money today, I hope, and get richer, because that's what it's all about as far as I'm concerned. Thank you, everybody, for your kind words today. 10 for 10 rent today, Bruce. Perfect. Thank you, Coyote. Appreciate that. Plain German, says Will.i.am. Thank you, all of you. Why do you think that SoFi was a target for shorters? I really don't know, other than my guess is that they just have a thing against Chalmouth, and maybe there were shorters thinking that Chalmouth will sell off a bunch of his SoFi stock, thinking that he needs money or something like that. I don't think he's going to sell any of this off. I really don't think so. It could well be that the shares are being held down right now by shorters, that as I am talking to you, the SoFi shares are trading along here today, 537,000 shares. It could well be that the shares are being hit by shorters right now. They're just adding to their positions. They want to short it at 22 because they think it can go down to 12 or 15. I'm not saying that's what they're definitely doing, but I'm going to say maybe that's what they think they can do. On the other hand, they're loading up on put contracts, and they're now looking to hit this market and keep it, get it down lower so their puts go higher in value. Maybe they're playing that game. The other thought is maybe they're nailing this stock right now, and while they're doing it, they're buying call contracts, and they're selling it down here, keeping it down here, keeping it down here. Hopefully it'll stay down here. They'll buy back their shorts, and then they'll go long and run it up to $30, and their long contracts up the wazoo. and they're going to cash out on the call contracts. I'm just, I'm not painting them in a very nice light, am I? I think they're trying to make money, and they're trying to find ways to make a bunch of money. I'm just wondering if that's what it is. I don't know. When will the ticker symbol change for VGAC? I think we've been told Thursday morning. So Wednesday will be the last day of the VGAC ticker, and Thursday it's ME. Am I wrong or am I right? That's what I hear, and I think that's where we're at. Okay, let's see what else is going on here. Can you talk a little more about the semiconductor shortage? I can only tell you what I hear, and it is spreading out from just car companies. It's not just a car company issue. It's gaming systems on Sony and Microsoft gaming systems, the Xbox. It's refrigerators, stoves, microwaves, telephones, computers. Tesla is talking about shortages. It's everywhere. It's global. It's not an American problem. It's not a Canada problem. Not a North American issue. It is a global chip shortage problem because these newest chips that keep getting invented, they are more powerful, faster, use less energy, and I mean it's the way of the future. Every 18 months, you have a rollover, and I guess with the pandemic, there was such a worry regarding the future business cycle. This is last year, March, when the market took its drop. The worry was that people were canceling orders on everything, and the factories were pulling back and holding on. And so chip manufacturers pulled back. But 3 months later, 6 months later, the orders started to come in, and the chip companies realized, well, we got a double problem. We not only do we have a problem in ramping up our production, we can't ramp up production from chips that we made 2 years ago. We have to retool to the new chips that need to be made to replace the old versions that are no longer, they're obsolete now. And this is causing a major issue. And so we've got a double whammy here that in the next year, chip companies will not only be ramping up production on chips, but they will be reinventing the chips to ramp them up as well. I mean, it's a vicious circle of innovation and upgrades. And today's version of an F-150 truck compared to an F-150 from 20 years ago or 30 years ago, you can't recognize them anymore. I mean, you take a look under the hood or under the dashboard, I suppose is where these are. Under the dashboard of an F-150, you don't have just a chip anymore to handle the ignition timing of an engine. You now have 3 or 4 different computer chips, literally 3 or 4 little computers inside a car, a vehicle. And you've got climate control, you've got handling, you've got the engine timing, all the systems for the power system, all this power system. It's mind-numbing how complicated they have become and how many chips are installed. And if just one of the 3 different chips the truck has are not available, trucks don't get delivered to the dealer. They're sitting at the factory waiting for that last part to come in. And it's probable that a number of Ford F-150s have to go back on the line to not only have their chips installed, but then other parts after the chip get installed. It isn't the last piece to go in. It's one of the first pieces to go in, and then a bunch of other parts come in behind it to finish off the production of the truck. This is a nightmare for Ford and everybody else. It's an absolute nightmare. And there are thousands of Ford F-150s parked all over the place around the factories that Ford has everywhere that are waiting to go back in for final production to get delivered out. And many of them are pre-sold. These trucks have been ordered by customers sight unseen, and they arrive at the dealership, they get prepped by the dealer, and then they're delivered out to the customer, and they're gone. This is a delay upon a delay upon a delay. A lot of money is not going through the system right now because the dealer doesn't get paid by the banker unless the dealer delivers the truck to the customer. Ford doesn't get paid by the dealer until the truck is off the lot and that the dealer's been paid by the banker. Ford can't collect the money. They can't pay their suppliers because they aren't getting the parts in. It's a chain reaction of dollars that are piling up. We're talking billions now, billions of, not millions, billions of bucks that have become tens of billions and hundreds of billions as this backup continues across all sectors of the economy, left, right, and center. And then there's Uncle Sam and every other government of the world that wants their defense systems constantly upgraded with the latest technology. And these smart, super smart, powerful chips that go for untold dollars that would just make you faint if you knew, they too are behind. And this is national priority stuff. So it's really important that these chips come out. Much more than an F-150. As important as an F-150 is to you F-150 owners, the U.S. Defense Department wants some of these chips for their guided missile systems. Your Ford can wait. That's the reality of the situation. It is profound. Anyway, there you go. I appreciate all of you for these questions. I appreciate it. Alrighty, let's see what's going on here. Imagine if you bought long calls on Home Depot, $5 above the market when I recommended them. Yep, you'd have done incredibly well, no question. Same with IBM, same with others. They're doing well, but you know it's not over. It ain't over. Anyway, there you go. What can I say? Here we go. My friend works at a chip manufacturing. I told a story of opening a briefcase full of chips and telling her employees that this would finish 30,000 Dodge Ram trucks. Wow, just it's incredible. Nuts. What else is going on here? Thank you, everybody. Let's see what's going on here. I bought 100 BB when it was under $9 because of watching my friend Oliver's YouTube channel, and done well. Well, way to go, way to go, Alex. Wally's World of Milk hasn't gone off again, has it? Let's see. I wish I understood options better at the time. Well, it's never too late. We will put it together. Do not worry, my friends. It is not too late to learn, and we shall move forward with this. Thank you, everybody. Let's go here. We got 854 thumbs up, so let's get 146 more. Where are we at now? We got 892. Thank you for 892 thumbs up. So I appreciate that. Get this show going and build up the following. We appreciate it. Only 42 thumbs downs today, so we're happy with the up-down ratio. We'll hopefully keep it going. If you can keep those thumbs ups coming, there it is, 901. We just broke 900 now. We're only 99 away from 1,000 thumbs ups. Keep them coming in, folks. I appreciate it. And we'll break the 1,000 barrier in no time the way you guys are coming through as you always do. I thank you very, very much for this. Fantastic. Jennifer is alive. She's moving. She's here. Oh, that's fantastic. Jennifer, hopefully will get my fan going for me in a little while and keep me cool. It's warming up. We're going to be at over 81 today out here. Phenomenal. Nice warm weather finally. But I guess tomorrow we get showers and we're back into the 70s.
You have to open the house when you get up.
I keep forgetting. I
cool in the morning, hot in the afternoon.
Yeah, the problem is when I wake up, it's the middle of the night, and I don't think about opening up the house in the middle of the night.
Especially when you should, because it's nice and cool.
No,
Do you want it sitting right here?
No, by back there, if that could be, please, and just make sure it doesn't rattle the curtains too much. Oh, thank God. We have a fan here. I don't like turning on the air conditioning in the morning because we really don't have to. We just get a fan going, and that air movement just keeps us nice and cool for a while. And we eventually have to cave and turn on the air conditioning, maybe in the afternoon, the last few hours. But here we just have the fan going, and it's fantastic. It makes such a difference, and keep the cost down, and keep it nice and comfortable. It's all good. It's all good. Thank you, everybody. Let's see. Here we go. Good question here from Dave. Uncle Bruce. These call options on VGAC and FAII and GORS and others have increased dramatically in price. Should we sell within 2 weeks of expiration, or should I just hold until the end of the contract? Well, the strategy that I'm hoping will come to play here is that as these SPACs turn into full-blown public companies as these mergers get done and the name change is done. The hope I have is that the shares will run up into this $20 to $30 neighborhood, and a lot of you will be really sitting on some super nice profits on your contracts, because I've been encouraging you to look at $10 calls and $12.50 calls, $15 calls. So some of you are going to have contracts that are well in the money, $10, $15 in the money plus premium. And this is where your exit strategy will come into play. You'll likely do at the very least, you might do a rollover where you sell contracts at, say, $15 each that you paid $2 for, something like that. And you're going to take that cash, and about a quarter of that cash you're going to put into a new set of contracts next May, like way into next year, at current prices as a rollover. And the 3/4 of the cash you have now, you're going to put that elsewhere, and you're going to continue to diversify your holdings, or you're going to acquire shares of the actual stock that you just held options on, and you're going to build up your share ownership position, because you're going to start to get ready for your next phase of your investment strategy, which will be, as you build up your portfolio stock positions, you're going to become call option writers. And you're going to start bringing money in for holding your calls. So you've got long-term calls for further upside. You've leveraged, maybe you got 10 calls going forward, 20 calls going forward, 50 calls, depending on what your position is. So you've got a lot of leverage from this point forward long-term for the next, say, 3-4 months. But in the meantime, you might be looking at writing 2-week-long contracts, 3-week-long contracts, and now taking advantage of the option disintegrations that are happening just ahead of the money of these contracts, of these shares, and you're going to start bringing in income into your possession on each of these SPACs, and that's going to make you a very busy hedge fund manager in your own right. And with hopefully the guidance I can give you, for some of you might have enough stock in your portfolio that you can literally live off these premiums that you're bringing in from these options. We'll talk about that going forward. That's another reason why we have these classes coming up. Looking forward to doing all of that. Welcome one and all to the show and to the channel today. It's great to have you. Jen, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Looking forward to a hot day, but yeah, then tomorrow we get thunder showers, so that's always exciting.
It's a one-day thing, though, isn't it? And then it's sunny and hot after that.
Yeah.
We're finally getting the summer weather that we've been craving. We had a cool spring this year, but it was very comfortable, so we really couldn't complain. And we did get quite a bit of rain in this region, so we're not dealing with forest fire emergencies. So,
but yes, thunder and lightning means forest fires.
That's true. Those dry areas, and we're hoping a lot of this province continues to get a lot of rain. And with Washington and Idaho, we know the West, the United States West, is in drought, major problems. California is in real trouble. That means forest fire problems later. That's going to be a mess. And we're just hoping that the precipitation comes into the western U.S. because it desperately needs it. I mean, the Hoover Dam at lowest level almost recorded in 50 plus years. It's really low. Colorado's low. It's really bad. Texas and Arizona, obviously, and California.
Even our Columbia is low.
Here in Idaho, Washington, Oregon, they need rain, man. Precipitation is needed.
Precipitation.
Let's hope it happens. Yeah.
That's right.
What am I going to do with a bagel today? What's the plan?
Well, it is Monday. Not that I'm saying you have to, but I'm just saying it is tradition that on Monday you have the classic.
I do.
You do.
And I look forward to it every day. I do. I love getting that grape jelly bagel going on a Monday.
He doesn't have bagels on the weekend.
I generally don't have a bagel on the weekend. I kind of take a little break.
So by Monday,
kind of hankering for a bagel.
Got a hankering.
The hankering. There's a reckon for a hankering. Hankering for a reckon. So I'm thinking grape jelly
Classic.
On a really nicely toasted bagel. Yeah.
So raw bagel with marmalade. Okay. Just checking, making sure you haven't had a stroke.
Houston, we have a problem. Yes, we have a problem, Houston. Jen's tea is done. The water's boiled.
Click, so I'm out of here.
Jen's out of here. She's going to make her tea, and I got a bagel coming. I can't wait. Oh, fantastic.
Listen to those little birdies.
Oh man,
Our little finches have left the tree for the first time yesterday.
the finches have left the tree for the first time.
2.5 inches, maybe not even that long. They're so tiny.
Incredible survivors. Good morning, Uncle Bruce. Quadruple witching hour this Friday. I sense some awareness will happen this week. 2-hour Spacs. Let's get ready. Let's make some money. I like the sound of that. I'm ready. I'm here. Let's go, baby. Let's make it happen. Yeah. Let's see what's going on. So much fun here. Here we go. Uncle Bruce. Hi, Uncle Bruce. For example, a Royal Caribbean January 22 put with a strike of $45, 70 cents. Is that a good deal? I wouldn't be buying puts that low. I'd be trying to get puts in the 60 and up level. You're going to have to pay a bit of a premium for it, but it's worth it. If the shares reach $50 a share, you have a $60 put. You're $10 in the money plus premium. You can get a 65 even, or a 68 or 70, even better. But go out there, get long, make an investment, but you'll be paid well for it. Benchmark starts NAV sites holdings at buy with $22 price target. You got to love that. Haven't even done their deal yet, and they're getting targets. That's beautiful. What about covered puts? Is that a thing? It's a thing. It is a thing. It's a little more difficult to understand for a lot of people, to the idea of writing puts versus writing calls. But writing puts is a thing. We'll cover that in the classes coming up for sure. The car prices are crazy right now. A new car I bought 2 years ago, I looked up the price. So basically, if I privately sold it right now, I'd have a free car plus a couple of grand without depreciation. I'll tell you, folks, some of you out there, you might be taking advantage of this kind of a market. Sell off your vehicles, pay off that car loan you got, bank the cash, buy a beater for like a year or so. Just buy a beater for a year and wait for prices to come back. Because in a year or so from now, car prices will be a bargain. There will be cars everywhere because that initial surge will come and go. But it's true. Right now, cars are at a premium. There's no question about it. Gore's Holdings calls increased even though the stock is down. It's incredible. Gore's Holdings premiums are rising, as are VGAC premiums. FAII premiums are rising. The SOFI premiums are at record highs because there's upsides expected here. Yep, definitely people are thinking this is happening. And I don't blame them. There's movement coming. Thank you, Uncle Bruce. I love the quiz on Friday. We had a trivia show Friday night, 7 o'clock Eastern. We're going to have another one this Friday. We are sharing the live broadcast Friday night, 7 o'clock Eastern, with my other channel, Traveling with Bruce. So the TWB crowd and the Stock Market with Bruce crowd get together, and we're playing trivia Friday night live, and it's a gas. We have a good time. It's a great way to unwind after a long week of markets, to just hang out and have some fun with some trivia. So if you want to have some fun with us, as a member, you're invited in automatically. All members only for both channels. Trivia night, Friday night. We have a good time. Is there any chance we could see that whiteboard you talked about last week? Actually, I'm going to be putting a little photo spread together of that. It's under construction. That'll be done in the next couple of days. So you will see the new whiteboard shortly. Did anyone hear about the millions of puts placed on HYG for this Friday? Is and implications? I have no idea. Alrighty, what else is going on here? We are running, says Marianne. Let's go. What else is happening here? It wouldn't surprise me if there were 100 plus chips in the new car with 10 computers among them. Everything on a CAN bus is chips and talks to a controller computer. It's unreal. Let's see here. Uncle Bruce, I need to get to your calendar for a private session. When are you booked out to again? All July and into August. We're now into the second half of July is where we're at right now. If you want a private session, you're thinking of having one, just send me an email to my email address, brucefarmer@hotmail.com. Telling me, Bruce, I'd like to talk to you about a one-on-one session. When can you squeeze me in? And I'll give you a date and let me know. You can let me know if that works for you. We'll go from there. All right, let's go from here. Thank you, everybody. Welcome all to the show. The Dow is down 134 right now. We're looking at S&P down 8, NASDAQ up 27. GameStop 227 now, only down $5. Still low of the day, 223. So it's off the lows of the day so far. That's where we're at right now. Okay, let's go. Continue forward. Thank you, everybody. And let's see, SoFi is on sale. That's right, $21.92. It's a bargain. It's on sale. There is some serious upside available here on this one. I tried to get a put. I tried to buy a put on Royal Caribbean, Jan 22, strike 45, 82, but keep getting an error. Exposure cannot be increased due to instrument configuration. Anyone know what this means? Account has enough cash. No idea, RB. You're going to have to talk to the broker. That's a broker issue. They've got problems. There are some kind of issues. I don't know why, but that's what it is. Okay. And here you are. The stock market never stops giving you chances to hit a home run, and you won't strike out by letting a chance go by. Let's see. Wally's, I don't know about this tweet. I don't think about it. What's your take on Chalmers' tweet regarding Doge over the weekend and SoFi being into? I have no opinion on it. I don't know about it. What else have we got going on here? 944 showing here for thumbs ups. Is that right? We got 1,000 now. We got over 1,000 thumbs ups. Thank you, everybody, for coming through for me yet again, getting us over 1,000 thumbs ups for this telecast. I do appreciate you. Let's see. We are getting over 105 this week in California. It's heating up. Look out. How do I find the Discord channel for Stock Markets with Bruce? Head over to Reddit. Look up Stock Markets with Bruce on Reddit. You'll find my page there. And apparently there's a link into that Discord from there. AB, Bruce, do you say that Adam Harris, thank you for the donation on PayPal. Thanks, buddy. Bruce, do you say that calls are better than puts because a company might look like it's going down, but getting injected with funding might kind of turn it around, predicting growth calls? No, the reason I don't say they're better, but they're just more followed. People think, buy low, sell high. That's what they do. And if you're an option writer, you want to get the biggest premium you can when you create a contract. So if you're writing a contract, you might get a higher premium for a call than on a put. That's what I'm talking about. So getting income from depreciating options that are dying soon, puts might give you a smaller depreciation rate than calls might give you. And that's why I think about that. That's one of the reasons I like those. All righty, what else is going on here? And what's going on here? Yeah, that's true. You can find my Hotmail address down below on any of my videos. I always have my Hotmail address listed there. You can click on that. Send me a message. Absolutely. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Bruce, for all the great advice. I have 1,107 shares of GHVI and 1,400 of VGAC. I've never written contracts before. What contracts would you recommend writing for these stocks? Not yet. We're not looking at writing calls yet, but we will eventually, and I will let you know when the time is right. Bagel has arrived. The sesame seed bagel with grape jelly has arrived, ladies and gentlemen. And, good times are about to fall on us. GameStop, not a moment too soon. GameStop is $222.92. It needs all the help it can get. Maybe this bagel will be the turning point for the GameStop shares today. Today it's on a dip right now. GameStop is on a dip. What can I tell you? There you have it, folks. Fantastic. On the VGAC and the GORs, we will be talking about writing contracts. You betcha, but not right now. We need these deals to fully go through. Let the shares take their little run, and then we'll talk about writing call contracts and making a nice little bit of money. Thank you very much. Alrighty, what else is going on here? Thank you, everybody, for popping through here. Appreciate it. Let's go on here. What do we got here? Let's go. Can't do that. Thank you, everybody. Bill, thank you, Bill, for this donation. Bruce, calls put options sound exciting, but with no knowledge about them, do we have to wait for the class, or you can provide specifics on what to do? Bill, I do talk about it from these shows from time to time, but the classes are going to come in really handy for you because you deserve to know the nitty-gritty of these things, and that's what we're going to get into, as well as plain English on how they work, of course. So stand by. Knowledge is coming your way. Oh, yeah. $21.89 on sale. Hi, Judy. How you doing? Thank you. If I want to buy call options on SoFi, January 22, how do I decide on a strike price? Judy, I would say the closer to the money you can get, the better. In other words, with the stock at $21.84, if you can buy $20 calls or 22.50s, maybe 25s, but 20, even 17.50s if you can afford them, that's where I would go. The more in the money you are, the lower the premium on the top end is. You got more book value versus overall time premium. That's something to consider. 21.84. So 17.50s, 20s. I'd take a look at those most strongly. Those would be the one. Dave. Well done, Dave. You picked up some NSH July calls, costing 10 cents. I'm up 50% already, counting on bouncing between 10 and 11 until mergers announced. Yeah, NSH. I mean, I'm excited about NSH. I mean, it can go to 12 to 15 easily upon this merger, making these calls worth a lot of money, a real nice return. Even if you buy them now, get in there. Yeah, get in there. Less than 1 million shares traded in the hour on SoFi. Yeah, there's not a lot of selling coming in on SoFi, really. But I'm kind of waiting for a buy wave to come in here. See what's going on. You wanted to write a call on SoFi? I wouldn't recommend it. There'd be no recommendation for me to do that. Not yet. I think you want to wait till it hits 30.35 before you think about writing call contracts. Look at that GameStop, $225. It was $22.50 when I started eating this. We're up $3. Woohoo! Yay! Hi, Uncle Bruce. Is $2.10 for an SVAC for a January strike of $10 a good value? Well, SVAC right now is sitting at, what are we doing at right now? 10.06, so it's right at the line. That's all premium, but you've got 8 months for upside. So make your move, get in there. I mean, if you can get them closer to the bid, better, the better. Absolutely. All right. Uncle Bruce, thank you for everything you do. I've invested a lot of money buying calls on Spacs and have turned my portfolio around and diversified since January. Thank you. Rick from Springfield. Ready to go, buddy? Let's get ready to rock and roll. Looking forward to this summer. This is going to be good stuff. It's already beginning. I like it. Uncle Bruce, what's better for the, what's the best buy here for NSH? Should I buy a November the 19th $12.50 strike for $175, or should I buy the 15s for $1.30? Get the 12.5s. I like the 12.5s better. I want to be $2.50 closer to the money. That's what I want. Have to be the latest contracts for NSH are in November. Do you recommend buying them now or wait for later contracts? I wish they were out longer right now, but they're not. And so this is all that's available. So you got to grab your Novembers. But, you know, in a week or two or three, if Jans or Febs show up, we'll be on it and we'll go from there. You can always carry both. All righty. What else have we got here? Thank you, everybody. And Here's a good question. After FAII, which has a shareholder meeting tomorrow, what's the next one to merge? I don't actually know. I don't have a definitive date on any of them, except that the way Gore's Holdings is trading, it's tipping its hand to me that something brewing, but I can't guarantee you that that's enough, but that's what I see. Oh yeah. If you're going to take my class on options at the beginning, even complete noobs, it's wide open. It won't take long once I'm into my class for those of you who are watching to figure out, oh, that's what he's talking about. Well, that's what that means. By the time the first class is over, the first couple hours on that first class, you're going to have a pretty good handle on the basics. But subsequent classes after that, we're going to really get into a lot more of the options story. We're going to cover every angle so that you can understand when you're a buyer of a contract, you understand the mentality of the seller. And when you're a seller of a contract, you can understand the mentality of the buyer. The market is psychology. The stock market is a psychological war between people. That's all it is. There's always a buyer, there's always a seller for everything that buys and sells. It's not like you're up against machines. You might be trading against a computer, but the computer is being managed by a human being. And it's all psychological. And if you can figure out the psychology of this market, along with the basics and the details, you can do really well here. So these classes will work for all of you. All of you. I'm certain of it. I'm excited. Looking forward to starting it up. AB is saying, Dave, yeah, I bought 14 Spac, SVAC, and NAV site $10 calls for July as gambling money. It cost me $200. I was up $200 for about 10 seconds this morning. A lot goes up $2. I'll be up to 2,800. There you go. All right. Put up your picks, Bruce. They're my favorite picks, stocks and SPACs. Those are the SPACs. SOFI is no longer a SPAC. Here's another way to look at them right here. Here are the SPACs right now. And you can see the symbol for the company at the top and what the company will be called at the bottom. So Gore's will be Matterport, NSH will be Spire, SVAC will be Sykestra, VACQ will be Rocket Lab, and so on. There they all are. And FAII over here, tomorrow there'll be ATI. And over here on this side, way over here, 23andMe, they took over on Thursday, VGAC. They start trading this week, Thursday, as 23andMe. Here are my stocks that I'm recommending, which include all the way over here now, SOFI, which used to be Matterport. That was a SPAC. Now SOFI is its own bank and it's a former SPAC, okay? All the SPACs on the other side will come over here shortly and become regularly traded companies, just like these guys right over here. Okay, there you go. Okay. Cool. Thank you, everybody, for being here. 221 on GameStop, down 1179. That's kind of the low of the day at this moment, despite the fact that I'm finishing off this bagel. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep eating this bagel. But that's what's going on today, this morning. We'll see what's going on. I was reading these comments here. A lot of you talking to each other, which is great. They won't change tickers tomorrow. Hi, Jen.
So you said that SoFi used to be called Matterport.
No.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, really? IPOE.
There you go. It's like me. He calls me my name. Really a lot he calls me his sister's name. Very often he calls me our daughter's name. Yeah. So.
It's better than saying, hey, you.
Okay. You know, yo, shithead. Yeah.
Hey, hey.
There you go.
Hey, you.
There you go. Okay, I'll bring this back.
Cool. No worries. It's all good. We got to take care of that. Oh, my gosh. Cheers to all of you. Stock Markets with Bruce from Crescent. Appreciate all you being here today, hanging out with me. We're looking at a 149-point drop on the Dow, kind of the low of the day. Not a big drop, 0.4%. S&P down 9 points, NASDAQ up 14. Thank you all for following me today. We are waiting, patiently waiting, for the shareholder votes to take place for the SPACs that we've been following, to watch them turn into something else. SoFi used to be IPOE. Now it's SoFi. It's $21.80 a share. They were sitting around $14 when we were getting ready for the big shift, and it shifted over. Now it's at $21.80, and we're now looking for the stock to go much higher than this. I'm calling for it to go to at least 30 in the not too distant future. And with that kind of pricing, a whole bunch of you out there are going to be really loving life. GameStop 221.96. The low of the day looks like 221.08. This is kind of where we're at right now. FAII, which is Fortress Value, now 10.18. They will be taken over tomorrow by ATI Physiotherapy. They have their shareholder meeting tomorrow. They officially will be becoming ATI. The stock symbol will not trade tomorrow for FAII. My guess is next week. It usually takes a week after the shareholder vote to go through for the stock to be called for trading as the new company. So that's why right now VGAC is still here. VGAC is still here as VGAC, even though they were taken over by 23andMe last week. The stock symbol will kick in. The ME stock symbol will kick in Thursday for VGAC. It's 11.31, up 33 cents right now. VGAC was as low as 11.06 about 20 minutes ago. It's now 11.31. The high today, 11.69. 955,000 traded. And as I say, this changes this Thursday. So this is the second last day. Tomorrow's the last. Well, Tuesday, Wednesday, the last 2 days. So the third last day today. Wednesday will be the last day for VGAC symbol to exist. And then Thursday morning, it's ME. Everything is changing. Gores at 15.43. AMC holding at 54.80, up 5.40 a share. That's what we got. GameStop now back to up to 223, looks like. Vector acquisition at 10.41. Navsite at 10.02. SVAC starboard value at 10.06. And we're waiting for all of these SPACs to announce their official shareholder meeting days to vote through formally their official voting of their takeovers. And then away we go. So we have a lot of stuff going on here. A lot coming up. And I'm excited. That's the deal, guys. Man, oh man. We're gonna have a fun summer. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have a fun summer. All right. Alrighty. What else is happening out there? Double checking some more comments here. Thank you all. What does she call you? Can't say. It depends if she's hitting me or not. Absent-minded professor, maybe. She's getting checked by her. Oh yeah. Well, who's the boss around here? It's not me. I'm not the boss. When is it summer in Canada? Depends on where you live. Around here, right about now, it's going to kick in until about September. In Vancouver, it lasts a little longer. Ontario, it can last. It's been summery already. But in some parts of Canada, it doesn't kick in until really July and lasts only till the end of August. And then we get back to that fall kind of weather again. And then come November, December, look out, it starts to go. But that's how it goes. When will the classes start? Uncle Bruce. Soon. The classes are very soon to come. As soon as I have exact dates, the word will be out. We've got a lot happening behind the scenes right now. Got a major meeting tomorrow actually happening. So yeah, website construction and software and all kinds of stuff being done. Oh my gosh, it's complicated. So I'll keep you posted. I will keep you posted. It won't be much longer. All right. I thought it was summer all year long in Canada. No, we head south. We perpetuate our summers by flying to summer in the wintertime. Come the fall, we start heading south to get back to summer weather for sure. What does soon mean to you, Bruce? I'll let you know when I know. I'm not in control of everything. I'm just doing the best I can with what I've got, and that is the deal right there. The Dow down 174 right now. S&P is down 10.9. NASDAQ up 12. Oil up 67 cents a barrel right now. That's what we have going on at this moment in time. GameStop 224.58. Looking a little better now, still down $8 at this point. AMC holding and gaining 55.69 on AMC. AMC's getting stronger. Volume on AMC today is 92 million, very light compared to lately, obviously. GameStop volume so far 3 million. That's pretty good, actually. SoFi 2184, looking a little better. Got down to 2169. 1.2 million volume on SoFi now. And that's where we have it at this moment in time. 1132 up 32 cents on VGAC on 992,000. That's the volume right now on that one. There you have it. Oh man, could be a hot one this summer. 105 index. Yikes. That is a bit too much. That is a bit too much. Oh my. We don't quite have that here. We don't quite get that. Or if we do, it's a one-day thing at this point in any event. Alrighty, there you go. There you go. Just keeping an eye on the comments here. Thank you, everybody, for popping through here. Yes, on the market watch, I tell you, we're watching closely the reopening of America. We're watching how Europe is handling the virus, noticing that the UK is talking about possibly extending their shutdown a little longer, the restrictions, because the variants. They're very mindful of the variants right now. I have to admit that I was looking up videos this weekend from time to time between sessions. I would look up a video about plane travel. And I got caught up in some videos where people were comparing different airlines to each other. You know, they'll go on a flight on a domestic flight, they'll take an international flight, and they'll compare this airline to this airline and this airline. Oh, I miss traveling. I sure miss it. I'm sure you do too out there. You miss the days of being able to just get up and go. It is. You just don't realize how convenient air travel is until you can't do it, and you realize how you can go from your continent to another continent in the middle of a day. Through a 12-hour day or a 14-hour day. Unbelievable. Yeah, I really have been missing this, and I'm looking forward to the opening up again of the world. It would be really nice. Yeah. Anyway, there you have it. Let's see. Bruce, I've been trying to get some friends to watch you. Your monologue this morning was that good? Is that on fire? Is that a good thing? I don't know what that means. So I sent them the stream and told them to start at the beginning. You have new followers now. Fantastic. Thank you, all of you out there who send me these very encouraging comments. It's very nice to hear that. Hi, Uncle Bruce. When it comes to options, do you always have to execute, or can you just sell? You just sell the calls. You'll buy them for $2 a piece, sell them for $6. Buy them for $1.50, sell them for $8. Buy them for $2, sell them for $2.10. A $2 contract is going to cost you $200. It's 100 shares per contract. So if it's a $5.50 contract, it's a $550 contract. If it's a 60-cent contract, it's $60. And so there are folks out there who will buy 10 50-cent contracts for $500, $50 each. If the stock has a good enough run and the contracts go to $3, they're selling 10 now at $300 a piece. That's $3,000, turning $500 into $3,000. That's doable. It's not common, but it's doable. A lot of these call contracts that I talk about with regard to these Spacs, I recommend you buy them way out into the future. And so you're paying a premium to get them because you're buying the time, but that's important to have because some of these stocks might move in a week, but they might not move until the 5th week or the 8th week. I don't know. None of us know. So we have to position ourselves now with enough time to make it comfortable for us that even if it's a 7, 8, 10 week process where the shares do make a run, we have contracts that have plenty of time left on them. We're still going to get a very high price on the sell side. We're going to have a nice leveraged play here in our possession. So some of you who have 10 or 20 or 30 call contracts will really do well because every 10 contracts you have, you're leveraging 1,000 shares of stock to the upside. 30 contracts, 3,000 shares of leverage. You get a $5 move on a stock with 3,000 shares of leverage. That's 15,000 gross value, of which maybe 10 of it is yours or 8 of it is yours, depending on the contract you get. We'll get into that with the classes as well. So yeah, I do like it. You don't exercise them. You just sell them for a big fat profit, and whatever you do with the money is up to you. Exactly. There you go. Continuing on. Bruce, are we showing our hands to the hedgies and what does it matter? No. Hedge funds do not care if you write a call contract or buy contracts. They couldn't care less. You are so inconsequential as far as how big your account is. You don't matter. You absolutely do not. They do not care. They have their own game plan. They have their own vision. They have their own, gut feel for what they think is going to happen. They could be right. They could be wrong. They could be partially right. They could be partially wrong. They do not care what you do with your account and how you do it. It makes no difference to them. If anyone out there is trying to convince you that what you do on the marketplace could affect a hedge fund reaction to a stock, they're dreaming. They're completely dreaming. Hedge funds have billions of dollars of backup capital to do whatever they want. And if you're playing with 1,000 shares, 50 shares, 5,000 shares, 25 contracts, it's irrelevant. You do not matter. Even 1,000 of you, you don't matter to these guys. They're not intimidated. They can handle. They're big boys, and they'll lose $1 million or gain $1 million at the drop of a hat. It's all right. It's just business for them. They're in a different world than we are. So we're trying to get scraps here. We're trying to get little snippets of dollars here and there. Some of you guys might make 5 or 10 or 20 or 50 grand on a trade or 2 or 3. That's great for you. But with a hedge fund, they can't make $10,000 or $20,000 on a trade. They need to make hundreds of thousands on a trade. They are leasing floors of skyscrapers in various cities around the world, including New York, and to have 500 employees in a hedge fund in Manhattan, you got to make a couple of million a day just to stay alive. I mean, this world they're in is a whole other world that we do not know and are not part of. And I can tell you right now, we don't matter to their big picture. They have their own game plan. That's the way they're going to go. VGAC 1148, yes, up 50 cents. Moving up again, 1150 now on VGAC. Some of you are getting richer today on your VGAC right now at 1150 on 1 million shares traded. We're inching higher little bit by little bit right now. Fantastic. Hi, Uncle Bruce. A lot of my contracts are due in January. No, they expire in January. They're not due. They expire in January. When do I sell them? When the stock takes a ridiculous run or how close to expiry? My hope for all of you on your January contracts, November contracts, whatever you have, is between now and about August. It wouldn't be surprising to me that we're out of these. Long gone. We've made our money. We've rolled over into May and June contracts if we are rolling over, and we've cashed in and we've rolled into something else. That's my thinking. I don't think I do not anticipate holding these contracts in January or December. I just do not anticipate it. We're long gone. That's what I'm saying. Very good. Very, very good. Bruce, what happens if you're in the money with a call option? You but fail to close out before expiration. Do they close it for you, or would you lose your profits? Most firms, I believe the way it works, again, some of you will have your own thoughts on this because each house is different. And you should read your Q&As regarding the firm you're dealing with with respect to this. That's where you're going to find the answer. But I can tell you, Nick, there is no way in hell. There's no way you're not going to know that you have call options that are in the money. You're not going to know that. You're going to know that. And you're going to know you have call options in the money weeks before they expire because you're going to be following it very closely. I mean, you're going to be addicted to your screen on your phone or whatever you're using. You're going to be very well aware of what's happening with your call contracts, and there's no way you're not going to know. So, but for what happens to you and those contracts with the firm you're with, you're going to have to look up the Q&A on the house. They probably have an answer to that question in there somewhere. Aaron says, I got Gore's contracts at $140, $25 strike price that expire in January. Is that okay? Well, it's a premium. There's no question about it. I mean, the Gore's is $15. But this shows all of us just the kind of premiums people are paying now to get these contracts. And there are many of them who are doing this. There's anticipation on the upside of Gore's dramatic expectation. Now, my guess is if the shares reach just $20, those contracts will at least double in price. And if the shares reach 25, which is the actual strike price, they might be closer to $4.50, $5. Shares go to $30 a share by the time January rolls around. Well, before then, they could be $7.50, $8 a contract. So there's profits to be made here. It's just a matter of when it happens. We'll keep an eye on it, of course, see what's going on. Anyway, there you go. Let's see what else is going on here. Thank you, everybody, for your comments today and popping by to see me and hanging out, following this market with me in plain English as best we can. Let's say, for the sake of argument, that VGAC spikes to $20, $30 in like 2 weeks. Does the time value of the January 22 $15 contracts or the 12.5 contracts go up an insane amount? No, they will not go up an insane amount. The value of the contract will go up, but not the time value. What will actually happen is if you got a $12.50 or a $15 contract and the stock goes to, say, $25, halfway between 20 and 30, it goes to $25. The 12.50s will be worth $12.50 book value, and the 15s will be worth $10 book value. So they'll trade at least at that amount plus time value on top of that. So it's possible that the 15s might be trading at $18 and the 12.5s might be at like $14.50, something like that. Or it depends. Again, it also depends how fast this happens and just the reasoning for it. If there are analysts calling the stock a $40 stock and it's already moved to 2025, there could be a very high time premium on top of the book value going on. But no matter what, if your shares reach $20, $30, closer to 30, you will be doing very well with your contracts, no matter what you paid for them. You'll all be doing very, very well. By the way, we're at 11.52 now on VGAC. We're up 54 cents. We're approaching $22 again on SoFi, 21.95. A little better than this morning. Fortress at 10.15, up 2 cents. AMC is now $57, $57.12 on AMC. There's a relentless movement going higher on AMC. It has not had a real faltering here today. Had little slight pullbacks, but nothing serious. It is moving higher. 112 million shares. That's interesting, and it's an encouraging sign that only 112 million of volume moved the stock up 750. It's telling me there's a lot of resistance is gone out of AMC. People who wanted out got out, and now there's nothing left to get into per se. There's still stock available, but not as much, and it's moving higher on not a lot of volume. Very interesting on AMC. Very interesting. Let's see what else is going on here. Fifth wall, 1156. Vector acquisition, 1038. Navsite, 1002. Starboard, 1006. That's the number. The Dow right now down 131, has recovered 20-something points so far. S&P down 5. NASDAQ up 29. So the market seems better off than it was earlier today. Not as bad as it was doing earlier. GameStop right now at 219.60. The low of the day is right here, 219.55. Now 220.15. This is at the low of the day right now on GameStop, while AMC is hitting the high of the day today. Interestingly, there's a bit of a dichotomy there, differential. One's going one way, one's going the other. SoFi right now, 21.92. Down 48 cents at this moment. The low of the day, 21.68, and the high, 22.58. About a $1, not quite a $1 swing, 90-cent swing, and we're at 21.92. So 24 cents above the low of the day right now. If it can gain another quarter, it'll have the loss, and then it's a question of does it come back or does it stay down? We'll keep an eye on it, as we always will, of course. Hey, Bruce, is SVAC going to become Psychstra? Is that what it's going to do? Well, let's look right here. Yeah, right there. Yeah, SVAC right there. It's going to become Psychstra. Boink, 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 boink. I'm doing this backwards. It's difficult. I go here, and I go here, and I go. And you wonder what give YouTubers thrills? Oh, let me tell you. What can I say? Uncle Stockmars with Bruce, we're trying to burn their world down. That's sort of the spark that started this whole fire. VGAC is a poppin'. Well, 1150 right now. I picked up 40 VGAC 15 calls for this Friday. Oh my gosh. If they fail, I do the same or move over to next week. I have, 5? 12 and a half long call from last month and some shares to hold. Good luck to you on this one. Bruce, you are hilarious. Julia, new member. Thank you, Julia. Another female has joined us. Thank you for joining us here. Appreciate you coming on board with us. And it's nice to have you in the family. Fantastic. I love the female members coming in. We're getting more and more of them all the time. Uncle Bruce, will your classes affect your research for a new list of up-and-coming SPACs that you might recommend us? Why would it affect the list? I have no idea. The classes are the classes. The list is the list. SPACs are SPACs. Making money is making money. I don't know how difficult this is. Why should it be so complicated? When you say roll into new contracts, Bruce, are we just selling what we have and buying new ones, or are there a different process in rolling over? Basically, what I'm talking about, as far as what I mean, is if you're going to do a rollover on, say, VGAC contracts, stock goes to $25, $30. What might happen is that you'll sell your contracts you have now, and you'll cash in big time, because obviously, if your stock's $30, you are laughing all the way to the bank here. You're cashing in all your calls. You might take 10 to 15% of all that money and buy contracts in VGAC for next May or June or July of 2022, because this could be a month or two from now, and by that time the new contracts will appear, because they'll keep getting created. As time goes by, new contracts keep coming out. So you might acquire, say, $30 call contracts or $35 call contracts for a year out, like from this May or from this July to next year May or something like that. With only 10 or 15% of the proceeds that you're getting from all these contracts you're selling at these huge prices. And the rest of the money, 80, 85% of it, 75%, 80%, all that money is going to go into something else. Between a month or two from now, I may well have additional recommendations that I've come up with, or you may diversify existing holdings that you have. Up to you. Yeah. On the other hand, you might take $5,000 or $10,000 out of your account and pay off, the remainder of an old car loan that's got a year to go in payments. You're getting rid of it right now, or you're deciding to upgrade the kitchen in your house, and you need a new stove, a new fridge, new dishwasher. You're going to spend $5,000 on that. There you go. Who knows? I mean, whatever you need it for, right? Profits are profits, and life is life. Welcome, Julia, to the channel. Let's see. What else are people asking me here? Let's see, Julie, you made it. Let's see. Yep, Bruce, you called it. I'm addicted to my stock screen when I'm awake. You called it. $21.94 on SoFi, $2.23 now on GameStop. So GameStop has popped up a couple of dollars from the low of the day. GameStop was as low as what was it, $219.55? It's now $222.32. So not quite a $3 pop from the low so far on GameStop. FAII 1014, AMC 5740, Gores at 1546, VGAC 1146. There you go. Here we go. Broker will liquidate you at your expiration, and you get the cash. Again, it depends on the brokerage firm. First thing I do before I kiss my wife is check the pre-market. There you go. Thank you, Uncle Bruce. Thank you, Aaron. Alex, thanks. Julia. Hi, everybody. I'm happy to be here. Welcome, Julia, to the game, the show, the group, everybody. It's nice to have you here, and you are welcome for sure. Uncle Bruce, would you say the time value degradation is pretty set in the contract and fluctuates at least in comparison to the stock price or VOL factor? Price value degradation. If a call has 5 days left to live, On the Monday morning, it might be worth $1.20 if it's out of the money. By the time Thursday rolls around, if it's still way out of the money, it might be down to a quarter, maybe a dime even. And by Friday, it's worth a nickel and then worth nothing. It depends how far out of the money this call is. And that happens with all call contracts that are out of the money. Even the ones that are just, 10 cents out of the money, they will become zero at the end of the day, Friday. But if you're writing a call contract and you're writing a call that is maybe 10% higher than what the stock is trading at, so if the stock is trading at $20, you're writing a $22 call, or your stock is trading at $40, you're writing a $44 call, that contract in the last week and a half will drop dramatically if the stock doesn't get up to that exercise price. And that's what you're looking for as a writer. You're looking for the depreciation of that asset because you get to keep the premium you brought in, and it's all yours if it dies worthless, of course. Okay, I thought it was pronounced 6 tera. Franklin, I've had a number of ways to call it, whatever you call it, but you call it what you want, and it's all good.
There you go.
Jen likes that. Call it what you want. I call it making money. I call it the money machine, the smile maker. That's what I'm calling it. It's a smile maker. We got a windy day outside. Our doors are slamming in the house. We're letting the cool air in here. It's fantastic. Anyway, there you go. Thank you, everybody. Let's see what's going on here. Folks saying hi to everybody here. Aaron is here. All kinds of people are here. It's wonderful. All kinds of folks are hanging around and joining the party. This is beautiful. Thank you, everybody. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah, Alex, there's a 6 tera SVAC investor call meeting tomorrow. Maybe we'll know the meeting tomorrow from those guys. Maybe we'll know their shareholder meeting. That'd be kind of cool.
They'll say, welcome to, say their name.
That too. That too. AB, thank you, and thank Uncle B. Thank Uncle Bruce. Thank you, guys. Thank you. And let's go here. Stock markets with Bruce. If I write a call contract for 6 months out, sell it, that contract gets passed around, bought and sold repeatedly. How do they track it back to me at expiry? It doesn't matter. You don't have to track it back to you at all. You might buy back the call you wrote, which isn't the call you wrote. It's the same series. It's like a $1 bill. You see, the bank gives you a brand new $1 bill in America, and you spend that $1 bill, somebody else has it. And then it gets spent on something else, someone else has it. At the end of the week, that bill is in 50 different pockets for all we know. A month from now, that dollar bill is getting worn out, but it's been around all over town. And you get a $1 bill when you go to a 7-Eleven change, and there's a $1 bill. You got the dollar bill that you had before, but it's not the same dollar bill. It's a dollar bill. Same thing with these contracts. You write the contract, and you've got it out. It's gone out there. You got the money for it. It expires in a couple of days. After a little while, it's getting ready for expiry. You buy the call back for super cheap money. You don't buy back your own call. You buy back whatever call you can get on the market. You're just putting an order in for that version of the call. You get it, and you are no longer obligated to issue stock to anybody anymore because you're out from underneath your obligation. You bought a call back that you had sold. And it's like getting a $1 bill a month later. That's a different serial number. Doesn't matter. It's worth $1. And there you have it. So now you're out from under, and whoever's got your call, it's out there somewhere. Someone else might get notified that they're being exercised, or the calls die worthless because they're out of the money. And they just die worthless. And no one gets called on anything. So there's that. All right. We have 1,100 thumbs ups, and Rob says we can do better. Come on, budda. Let's see. Pay off the house. Yeah. SoFi calls are on sale. $22.15 on the stock right now. We're over 22 now on SoFi. We were under $22 a share. We were as low as $21.69 this morning. It's now $22.15 and coming on. The stock is down 30 cents right now on 1.4 million shares. So the contracts were lower, and they're probably now going up in value again because call contracts swing with the stock somewhat. They fluctuate. $22.15 on SoFi, down 25 cents. GameStop 221. FAII Fortress 1014, AMC 5816. It's up another dollar. Gores 1537 and VGAC 1148. Uncle Bruce has made me hate weekends and love market days. How about that? Someone bought 5,000 GME shares like 10 minutes ago. No big deal. Can happen. Anyone can do that. I mean, that can happen all the time. Let's see. Yeah, you never get signed on your contract. It's random. You never know. Exactly right. That is true. Let's see. Yeah, would you go one way or the other on whichever SPAC? No, that's your call. It's a battle of bagel spreads. There you go. Oh man. You know, Bruce wouldn't be our uncle if he pronounced everything correctly. You know that, don't you? You're probably right. What can I say? Thank you, everybody, so much. Hey, can we get a Yoko surprise if we don't hit 2,000 thumbs ups, Uncle B? Would you mind playing some more Yoko for us? Boy, I don't know about that. What do we got here? We got 1,100 thumbs ups. I don't think there's any way we can get to 2,000 thumbs ups by the time this show is over. I think that's a stack deck against the group here. Let's see. Let's go. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Let's see what else we got going here. AB. I looked at one of those Seeking Alpha sites, and they said that the VACQ Rocket Lab company has a 1550 target price, roughly, and is a buy here. If it goes higher than that, overvalued, question mark, and does it matter call-wise? Well, obviously, the shares go to the 1550 range. This particular target price is met, but that's not to say there are others out there. And the other thing that can happen from time to time is shares start to come up towards target prices, and the analysts will reanalyze the company again, and they might put on a 1750 price. They up it. They can sometimes do that too. It varies. It absolutely varies. Let's see what else is going on here. Yeah, there you go. I mean, I'm going to get a copyright strike from Yoko. I've got to be careful here. I don't want to make her upset at me, of course. I got a SoFi June 18, 2250 call, 62 cents to play around and see what happens with a short trade. Hope Cruiser didn't kill the cat. June 18th, 2250. So it expires this Friday at 62 cents at 22.5. The stock's at 22.11. So it's just 39 cents out of the money, but it's 62 cents premium. So even if the shares reach 22.50, they're still worthless. At $23, they're worth 50 cents book value, plus maybe some time premium. Right now, these shares have to reach 23.15 or so to justify the 62 cent cost. However, if the shares were to hit 23.15 today, with 4 days still to go, that would be $1 to $1.10, that contract. So you'd be up money on. Hey, it could be $25 tomorrow afternoon. I mean, this stock can easily be $25 tomorrow afternoon. That would put this contract at about $3 to $3.25. 5 times your money, not bad. Wally, love the Yoko, live the loco, Yoko, sleep the Yoko. She is just, well, Yokolicious. Oh my gosh. Seeking Alpha and Motley Fool are worthless online rags. I'm shocked that Seeking Alpha actually gave a price target. Uncle Bruce, Morningstar valued GameStop at $3.20 a share. Do you think this will influence other traders to buy it now? It might or might not. It's $2.20, $3.75. So, maybe it does no effect. Yoko's one of the wealthiest people in the celebrity world. Literally, she has a good head on her. She's smart. Very smart woman. A very wise woman with, I believe, excellent management skills and personnel around her. Yeah, she's looked after herself, her family. Freethinker McJones, I believe so, Rabbit, as she was quick to snuff that out, laughing out loud. GNPK is another interesting SPAC. Anyone following it? Merger not set, but scheduled to be completed sometime. Don't know anything about this company. Thank you all for being here today. We got 12 minutes left on this show before I pack in the early show. I'll be on again later today at 3 o'clock Eastern, and I'm on twice on Traveling with Bruce tonight, 7 o'clock Eastern time for members of that show, members of that channel. So if you're a member of TWB, join me at 7 o'clock for the Hangout show. Talk about whatever you want, anything you want to talk about. 8 o'clock, we talk cruise ship news, we talk traveling, and I can't wait to travel. Watching those videos about people flying in airplanes. Oh man, I love watching those videos where they go into business class, and then they go into first class, and then some of these folks end up in these residence suites. Oh man, those look pretty nice. Then I see how much money those are, and I go, oh my gosh, that's incredible. Bama Babe, yes, feeling AMC every envy, which is likely the goal. Will AMC drive past the key of 70.75 this week? Apparently 350 is the do or die point for GameStop for some margin calls. Well, AMC now is $58.84. It's approaching $59 now on 132 million. Interesting. It's not like taking off with volume. It's steady, but it's not 300 million. GameStop, 223 now, down 10. It's up from 219. So kind of a $3.50 recovery so far on GameStop, but it's still down $10, where AMC is up 930. That has 20% gain today. Very good. Interesting, isn't it? I'm starting to like Yoko now, says Christopher. Let's see. And is there anywhere you can see a list of options that you've been recommending? I haven't been recommending specific contracts specifically. I've just been indicating a general indication of try to go out to like January or as far out as you can, somewhere around the money here or just ahead of the money is what I'm recommending. That's all I'm saying. These do fluctuate though, so sometimes your contracts, you have to fluctuate your idea. 22.15 on SoFi, 222.80 on GameStop, 10.14 on Fortress, 58.58 on AMC, 15.37 on Gores, and VGAC 11.53 up 55 cents. VGAC is going higher right now, and I got to think that some of you folks are noticing a difference in the value of your accounts. I'm hoping that's doing well for you. I'm very, very optimistic for you. Okay, let's see here. What else is going on? Thank you for checking me out today. The Dow is down 196. Unfortunately, it had a partial recovery. It tried a little rally, died. It's tried two now, actually. It's had two little rallies. Neither one took. The market in New York is now down 198 for the Dow 30. S&P is down 8.8. NASDAQ up 40. We have a mixed market between NASDAQ and the others at the moment. That's what we've got right now. Thank you, Bruce. You're amazing. Sharon, thank you for being here. Appreciate you popping by. Glad you're here. Hope you're enjoying it. Learning something new every day. We try to stay on top of this market as best we can and limit our mistakes and maximize our gains and, make some money. And we don't have to pay attention to technical charts. We don't have to pay attention to the 50-day moving average. We don't have to pay attention to all this momentum stuff. We just use common sense to figure out what the heck's going on here, and we cut through the crap, and get to the bottom line in plain English as to what's going on. When do you buy it? When do you sell it? And what's going on? I think that's the way you do it. Anyway, there you go. Thank you. Let's go here. Here we go. You got a question a while ago about buying long calls that are basically in the money, and they give you control of 2 to 3 times the shares than you could otherwise directly buy. Yeah, is this a good risk-averse strategy? Yeah, so one of the examples could be on SoFi. The stock's like $22-something a share, okay? You can buy 100 shares of SoFi for about $2,200. And if the stock goes to $30, you're up $800. 100 shares, $8 a share. Great. But with $2,200, you could acquire January contracts way out there that are in the money. You need to buy, for example, you could buy 3 $7 contracts on SoFi. Now, my guess is that those would get you probably three 1750s would be my hunch. Those stocks are approximately, 350 in the money. And you might, I'm not sure if you can get 15s. There's a possibility you could get 15s, actually. Well, there's 7 in the money. No, you won't get that. You'll get 1750s. So at $22, you'll get 17. You'll be 450 in the money. There you go. But you can get 3 of them. So for $2,200, you can get 3 contracts that are in the money right now on SoFi, and they're good until January. All right. Same example. Stock goes to 30. All right. Those 3 contracts will be $1,250 in the money each, plus premium. If the shares reach $30 in a month from now, they'd still have 7 months of time left, or 6 months of time left. They would probably sell for, let's see, at 30, they would be $750 in the money. They'll probably sell about $950. So they might even go for 10. So you'd be into $10. You have a $10 scenario. No, I take it back. I'm completely wrong. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of something else. If the stock goes to 30, the 1750 contracts that you bought, all 3 of them, each one would be $12.50 in the money, plus a $1.50 premium. They'd be trading at $14 each. You'd have 3 of them, $1,400 times 3. You'd have $4,200 in contracts versus $3,000 in stock, because you had 100 shares versus at 30 versus 3 contracts at $1,750 that are now worth $4,200. So you're $1,200 richer than you would be, right? So you took $2,200, turned it into $3,000 by buying the stock, or you took $2,200 and turned it into $4,200 buying the contracts, because you have 3 contracts, 300 shares of leverage for the same amount of money all the way out to January. That's the mentality of a contract buyer in that area. Okay. Now, if you can afford to buy 1,000 shares of SoFi for $22,000 right now, or afford to buy 30 contracts of SoFi right now for $22,000, you have 3,000 shares of leverage, right? So you'd have 30 $1,400 contracts at the end of it. So that would be $42,000 of contracts for $22,000 purchase. You see the leverage? 30 grand versus 42 grand if you had the stock, right? 1,000 shares, you'd be worth 30,000. 30 contracts, you're worth 42,000 in this case. That's what I meant by this comment right here. That's kind of what I'm talking about. It's not a bad strategy if you buy contracts long enough. It's not a bad strategy. All right, there you go. My Spacs are up 118%. Nice looking today. 1143 on VGAC, FAII 1014. SoFi sitting at 2197. Fifth wall up a dime. Nav site up 4 cents to 1004. Starboard up 2 cents to 1007. So there's a little bit of movement here and there. The Dow down 214, low of the day for the Dow. The Dow is not helping the markets. S&P down 10, NASDAQ is up 40 points. That's what we have right now. We're just about done for this show here. Hey, Uncle B, why do you think we sell our January calls so early in late summer? Because I expect the shares to do well between now and then. I don't expect it to take 8 months for your stock to do something. What I'm looking for your stock, I'm looking for in the first 90 days after the merger is completed. And that's why I'm thinking you probably will roll out of these calls and be way into May or June calls next year instead of January's. And you'll have taken the rest of your dough and put it into other areas and diversify your account. So it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. All right. Thank you, everybody, so much for being here. Cannot explain the answer to this question other than contracts go up and down in value based on supply of the contracts and demand for the contracts. Sometimes more people want to get out on one day versus get in. Other days, more people are trying to get into a contract for like a week. They're trying to get into a contract because they sense there's market movement coming in the stock and they go up in value. Other times they go down for same purposes. That's what it is. Thank you, everybody, so much. This is spectacular. It's spectacular. Fantastic. Let's see. Thank you, Uncle Bruce, for opening the chat today about the current workplace environment today. I tell you, it's on my mind all the time. I just sense this massive shift happening in our world, and I don't know if most of the media gets it yet. I don't think they get, like, they don't understand it. Not that they haven't heard it. They just don't. They're not comprehending the massive change of our society that is taking place right now. It's a massive change, especially people like those of you out there who used to work in car plants, factories in the Rust Belt up north. And then, you got laid off 15 years ago when the first layoff started, 20 years ago. You remember those days when the first, shutdowns took place. You were forced to find other kinds of employment. Some of you went to school. Some of you figured out how to work, on computers and all this kind of stuff. And a bunch of you now are doing admin type work. And in the last year, you were told to stay home and work from home. And you have been. And all of a sudden, you're in a new world that you've never thought you'd ever see. And that was, holy cow, I'm stuck in this small town in Michigan, Ohio, Illinois, Indiana, wherever. And I was addicted to the car plant. Now, then I got kicked out of that, not that I wanted to, but I lost that gig and I got another gig. And in the last year, I have gone remote. And all of a sudden you realize, my God, if I'm remote, I can be remote from anywhere. And I don't have to be here anymore. And there are folks in these northern areas, someplace, they want out. They would really like to get out, but they can't get out because they need the job that they've got. And now all of a sudden, they can work remotely and they can apply for work anywhere in North America and work remotely for that job without having to go to that job. And there are people who are now leaving areas of Canada and the US that they've been stuck in, that they didn't want to be stuck in. And there are folks out there who were always hoping someday to retire to Florida, that I would want to retire to Florida one day, maybe when I turn 60, 65 or something like that. And people are figuring out that they can go to Florida right now. You're age 42, you're 50, you go to Florida now and keep working. Work remotely, but live in Florida. And so they're going to Sarasota. They're going to St. Petersburg. They're going to Tampa. They're going to the Miami area or Orlando. They're going to Daytona. They're going to the Keys. Wherever you got internet, baby, you are in business. And working remotely, wow, number one. Number two, change employers. And I can get more money from another employer for the work I do because I'm underappreciated where I am, or I'm being told you're a dime a dozen. You just take this salary and shut the hell up. That's changed. That has changed. And all of a sudden, wow, has the world ever gone different? I'm excited for you guys. So many of you out there, I'm excited. Anyway, there you go. Bruce, I want to sign up for a one-on-one. How do I do it? Please send me an email, Cher. Send me an email to this address right here, bruceferrand@hotmail.com. You'll find that address on every video I've ever done on this channel. That email address is on every video. You'll always find it. Just send me a message there. Say, Bruce, I'd like to talk to you and have a one-on-one session with you. When can you slot me in? And I'll fill you in on all the gory details. See what we can do. How about that? Thank you, everybody. So much. Fantastic. I got to get going. I've been on the air now for 3 hours, 2 minutes. I'm way over. I'm way over. Thank you, guys. I'll see you at 3 o'clock this afternoon. And here we go. I'll see you at 3 o'clock today. And I'll be on for the last hour of the day and the first hour of the aftermarket. And we'll catch up with you. I'll try to have a bit of a nap, a little bit of a rest. Don't worry about Orlando. There's other places in Orlando. Grab a spot on the beach or Jacksonville, nice area. Some folks are moving to Atlanta. Some folks are moving to Mobile. They're moving down to the Gulf Coast. They're headed to Texas. A lot of folks heading to Texas. Folks heading to Arizona, heading to Tucson, heading to California, perhaps, not so much. Nevada. The Carolinas, the Georgia coast, the Atlantic coast on the Georgias. So many areas to look into. Oh my gosh. It all depends what you want. What is it you like? Some folks are literally moving to Hawaii. They're moving to Hawaii to live there full time. It's more expensive to live in Hawaii, but if you got the right kind of gig and it's a remote gig, you might be all right. Something to investigate. And what's wrong with flying to Hawaii to investigate Hawaii? Doesn't work out? Okay. At least I went to investigate it for a week. I investigated it. You never know, folks. Fantastic. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Wally, buddy. I'll catch you later, man. You hang in there. Fantastic. Folks, if we ask for more unions, definitely will see higher wages across. My sister unionized and had 23 grand increase in pay. How about that? Power to the unions. It's true. It's true. See Uncle Bruce. I'll catch you this afternoon, you guys. My plans go to Alaska. There you go. There's an idea. Yeah. There you go. Maybe you just want to move somewhere else in your city. Maybe you live in one neighborhood you don't like so much, and you're scoring a better gig, online better gig, making more money, and you're moving within the city to a nicer part of town. Simple as that. Maybe just moving 10 miles out of town to get out of the clutter of whatever. I mean, who knows? It's up to you. Grab an RV and RV it for a year. How about that? You don't have to buy a new one. Just buy a used one. Make sure you get one with a warranty and all that good stuff. Who knows? Who knows? There's no end to it. No end to it. Anyway, there you go. Investigating Hawaii is on my bucket list. There you go. There you go. Fantastic. Thank you, guys. We'll see you this afternoon for sure. I'm looking forward to it. And we'll have some more fun then. All right, so that's it. $21.95 on SoFi, $21.90, $21.95. GameStop $225 now, down $8. At Fortress $10.15, AMC $57.11, Gores $15.39, VGAC $11.32. We jump around, don't we? These stocks do jump around. We'll watch them. We'll be here. I'll see you at 3 this afternoon, and then we'll see you guys later on TWB tonight. Thank you, guys. Have a good one, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.